the 8th of April 2025, he visited Ghana. He was the first president to visit Ghana upon the election of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. They have just addressed a joint press conference, and the two leaders have pledged to strengthen the relations between the two countries. The Czech Republic has pledged its readiness to support Ghana, especially in the area of agro-business, agro-processing, the health sector, construction, and of course, mining. Ghana has also expressed interest in taking advantage of the gateway EU has in funding some projects, especially the stalled one. So, John Dramani Mahama is now escorting the President of the Czech Republic to his car. Then he will be driving off to the hotel where he'll be taking some rest after a long flight to Ghana, and from there he will be coming back to the Jubilee House to be hosted at a state banquet which will be attended by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And so that's been a beautiful engagement. They've had the bilaterals. And so you see the Czech president who has just entered his car, and the security detail are now driving off here from the presidency. From the presidency. So off they go. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will wait till they drive off from the main gate. And if you can see from the shot, the party that came with the president to see him off are waiting for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to retire to his office.
Other taxes promises further growth and inclusion in digital financial services. The cutting-edge solutions by Czech companies in fintech, robust cybersecurity frameworks, and sophisticated digital infrastructure development would be invaluable in accelerating this transformation, bridging the digital divide, and further enhancing inclusive financial ecosystems. For transportation and logistics, as a proud host of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, Ghana is strategically strengthening its multimodal infrastructure networks through my government's $10 billion Big Push program to facilitate seamless local and intra-African trade. Czech companies with specialized expertise in integrated transportation systems, including the tram and light rail systems proposed for Accra and Kumasi, can play a transformative role in this endeavor, connecting people, goods, and opportunities across our nation and beyond. The Czech Republic's excellence in healthcare innovation and medical equipment manufacturing is well known. We earnestly welcome strategic partnerships to expand our healthcare infrastructure, enhance medical training programs, and develop pharmaceutical manufacturing capacity, building upon successful existing collaborations such as the impactful Medivac program in some selected teaching hospitals across our country. Permit me to use this opportunity to thank the Czech government for its financial guarantees for the construction of the Köln mini hospital, which will be inaugurated later this afternoon. Additionally, hospitality and sanitation, as well as Ghana's burgeoning real estate sector, present immediate opportunities for Czech businesses to join their counterparts in investing in Ghana, particularly as we enhance our tourism infrastructure and urban management systems to create sustainable cities for the future. This administration is deeply committed to creating an enabling environment for business growth and foreign direct investment through several key strategic initiatives. Firstly, we're intensely focused on ascending the global value chain by transforming our rich raw materials endowment into high-value finished and semi-finished products. The Czech Republic's renowned industrial expertise and technological capabilities can be invaluable in this transformation, particularly in specialized areas such as food processing, mineral refinement, pharmaceutical production, and light manufacturing. Secondly, we are actively promoting and diversifying our non-traditional exports to strengthen our economic resilience. Czech businesses can form strategic partnerships with Ghanaian enterprises to access not only our domestic market, but also leverage Ghana's privileged position to reach the broader African market through the opportunities presented under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Thirdly, we're making substantial investments in transportation networks and digital connectivity infrastructure to enhance Ghana's competitiveness in the global economy. The Czech Republic's extensive experience in these critical areas, especially in efficient urban mass transport systems and state-of-the-art digital infrastructure, presents golden opportunities for mutually beneficial collaboration and knowledge exchange. My government is implementing policies and programs to support micro, small and medium enterprises which emphasize on women and youth-led businesses that represent the future of our economy. And again, we warmly welcome partnerships that can provide technical expertise, facilitate technology transfer, and enhance access to appropriate financing mechanisms for these dynamic enterprises. We're also continuing to streamline business regulations, improving the ease of doing business, and providing attractive incentives for foreign direct investment, particularly in our priority sectors. Our dedicated investment promotion agencies stand ready to provide comprehensive support to Czech businesses interested in exploring the abundant opportunities that Ghana has to offer. As we deliberate today, I earnestly urge the private sector leaders, our captains of industry, and business representatives to seize this golden opportunity to network, explore synergies, and build lasting partnerships founded on mutual respect and shared prosperity. The potential for mutually beneficial collaboration between Ghana and the Czech Republic is immense. Let us find inspiration in the profound words of the renowned Czech statesman, Václav Havel, who once said, and I quote, "The salvation of this human world lies nowhere else than in the human heart, in the human power to reflect, in human meekness, and in human responsibility." Today we embrace that responsibility by forging economic ties that will generate sustainable prosperity for our nations and our people. As we deliberate today, I earnestly urge the private sector leaders, our captains of industry, and business representatives to seize this golden opportunity to network, explore synergies, and build lasting partnerships founded on mutual respect and shared prosperity. The potential for mutually beneficial collaboration between Ghana and the Czech Republic is immense. Let us find inspiration in the profound words of the renowned Czech statesman,
no rule of men. And as a member of Parliament, at least our Constitution, Parliament Standing Orders, talks about the processes or the procedure by which a member of Parliament can be invited. The first question we want to ask the current administration is, was that process followed?
No way. No.
Was that process followed?
No.
Why? In fact, the chaos this morning was needless, unwarranted.
What's your position on that?
Well, the position is what I'm telling you. Very unwarranted. At least, if indeed they were showing good faith, they would have gone through the process, the due process, written to the Speaker that the Member of Parliament is to be invited or wants to be invited to the State Secretary for interview or for questioning or for discussion or to help in the investigation. But not this Rambo style.
Is it your briefing that that letter hasn't been written to the Speaker? If that doesn't happen, would mean that his immunity has been breached. What would the party do?
Well, at the end of the day, is what we are doing today. That the due process has to be followed. the due process has to be followed. Has he committed any crime?
No.
But this time we're expecting even the government to commend him.
That was the essence of whistleblower act.
We're expecting the government to commend him.
Is there an official briefing on why the NIB is here?
NIB officials are in there. What exactly are they doing?
Well, they have left. At least they have come to the realization that what they are doing is wrong. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
Did they tell you why they are here?
They were in there. What exactly did?
Well, we just put it to them. That is not a question about your superior asking you to come and take an illegal action. And we spoke to them.
Which superior is that?
Right, they will know whether the director general, whether it's the director in charge of operation, or from Jubilee House, or maybe for Fosukwachi send them. They will know.
They've left here basically because they see that probably your numbers here are quite large. They don't.
We are going to be here. The issue is not about numbers. We can bring the whole party members here. If they are doing the right thing, they shouldn't be perturbed about the numbers. But because they know what they are doing is wrong, that's why they've left. So don't use the numbers as an excuse. But I want to assure them that the MPP, the opposition New Patriotic Party, is united more than ever.
Yes.
And none of our members will be intimidated.
Never.
They can call so many people who will come and support them. There will be no intimidation. The due process must be followed. The due process must be followed. That's all.
General, I mean, the issue at the center of this is that the government has a position that he has some evidence that they will be interested in investigating all of these issues. Is it the case?
You read the tweet or the post by the president. What was the tweet about? He said that one, the member of parliament has a vital information and he's directing several security agencies. He mentioned them: NACOP, National Security, NIB, the police, to collaborate with him. There should be that collaboration. So how come it's only NIB who are here?
What we've heard is that, in fact, the NACOC boss just yesterday in the morning told us, Honorable Brimer told us that your member has not been able to cooperate with them, and that he leaves them just one option: to arrest him, which may be the reason why they are here. Why was he not collaborating?
We also know that our member wrote officially through the Committee of Defense and Interior, inviting the Joint Security to appear before them. Did they also go? I think the issue is not about one institution working alone.
Could it be because Parliament is on recess?
No, it doesn't matter. This matter is a very important issue that they need everybody on board. And at the end of the day, based on the posture and utterances of the chief government spokesperson, Fosukwachi, now it even brings some issue of credibility issues on the security agencies, because he is speaking based, according to him, on the briefing that they have received. And that briefing that he has been speaking about contradicts what the honorable member of parliament is saying. Yes. So at this point in now, we need an independent commission of inquiry to sit on the matter.
Very finally, if you find out that his immunity as an MP has been breached by what happens here today, what do you expect your members on the floor of the House to do?
Well, I'm telling you, as a party, we have a plan. And definitely when we get to the bridge, we shall cross it.
Thank you.
And that's Justin Kodia there. He is the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, indicating that if it happens that the immunity of their member, Honorable Ntim Fojo, has been breached by the invasion of
the ruling part. I mean, we have moved beyond days where we deploy state-sponsored arrest. No. What did he say? He's only mentioned that there are reasonable grounds to believe that there have been some dealings, underground dealings regarding illicit drugs. What do you do? In fact, I even applaud the president. The president quickly responded by saying that there should be collaborative investigation. Then all of a sudden, the spokesperson to the president, who is throwing his weight about, and he must be sacked.
You're calling for the sacking of Felix Kwachio.
Undermining the position of the president. He rather said that even the investigation is useless because Honorable Fojo did not provide any evidence. Meanwhile, the president had instructed that there should be a corroborative investigation, and then you, as a spokesperson to the president, you are rather supposed to amplify what the president says and then explain it further. You are rather articulating a position which is contrary to that of the president. Very bizarre. What are they hiding? What are they hiding?
And then what do you want this collaboration to take?
I mean that is what we are calling for. A commission of inquiry. That is a proper thing, and we have done it before. When we were in government, there were times where the opposition would raise allegations, and His Excellency, the President, will allow for some inquiry to be conducted in such matters, and that is exactly what we are.
Okay, it's a mobile. Okay, it's me mobile kwa Badeba TV XYZ any power 97.9 FM. Mika say NIB penifo mu kopie mu Reverend Ntim Fodjo MP de ma Ascent South ye de fie ho a na omu kita warrant omu de ko fa no na ko bisa ne nsem eno na ye hu say the New Patriotic Party the General Secretary oni the organizer ekopie mu ho a na Nana Boachi okasa ne Justice Kodua so ye hu so omu de nkomo no we ya dia ekoso sesia wo Reverend Ntim Fodjo residence a ewo East Legon na ensema aba Reverend Ntim Fodjo odi betu dwa se made BBC Kotoka International Airport for so many days na etre say or say ebesi ho no wo hwe ne ma ekona omo ba so mbefa cocaine money laundry sika horo ne ade omo de baaye empenifo ayenhwehwem wo airport ne meka ho but me na no omo sensama Reverend Ntim Fodjo kan ensisi so it is Reverend Ntim Fodjo wo do mine we a member of parliament no person oboa mine na bra na be yinsem na no evidence ekwan yon fa so edinya info na betre na bo aban no na make say omuntumi hu meko ko make say kra no UN United Nations kra the letter ba afasa asemi hu say aban so nhwemboa iti ehia Reverend Ntim Fodjo wade ntre we sofo konkron bra na Reverend Ntim Fodjo beboa na yenhwe na yemfa yentu ye hu meko ko say bia wo so information bi MED ana ambulance here ba here a wo che say besi hoi cocaine na ebefa money laundry ni meka hu no beboa Reverend Ntim Fodjo say onboa onye ready ti eba na sa no so etose bia ye gi permission fee speaker of parliament wo wi a ebe hia so say ye ba na invite o enti ye ko invite na nyachi enya ntokwa uti asama MPP supporters kasa wo hwe Justin Kodua nensemo Kenya omo general secretary wo hwe na bia na akwese Rambo style bigidi bi invitation omo di amano so omo hia wadwentre besi nde na court control commission afro sa nakok afro se bra na bebu omo no omo hwe kwan ombefa so that's because enya sema eda hotrasa national security threat. Reverend John Ntim Fodjo say brana muntumi hwe no mfa yentu yi we a reverend man of God what da asoye Victory Bible Church sanctuary we Slegon wonye rest we sofo mapa enti no kra no so wo so won kra wo evidence brana be bon penifo asem na no Ghana for asem na no ba yegu so yenya meko so ho bia we live feed na dey bro no enti yesanya feed ni bioma ye no be kone akohwe what is happening now or Reverend Ntim Fodjo fie because ade a meko no yanhwe ni abim be dane asem na ma asem na hunya say asif say we chance ni bi no obi die ne chenchan attack bi na so entesa ye invite sombra na omuntutu na no eno ane asem abe enti yehwe say yenya feed ni bioma ye beko na ya san akọ nti mete no ye be san akọ na ya akọhwe ma ekoso ho nti mete nti ora Felix Ofosu-Kwakye nensem so de atodwa afa no Reverend Ntim Fodjo sensem no ho ti se ma me Kenya ono so de atodwa se Reverend Ntim Fodjo ohia so corporate na nensem no omutumi hum na because make kan no Felix Ofosu-Kwakye or Minister of Communication in charge of government communication and wababe kasa say Reverend Tim Fordjour won't send me or the evidence I been who playing in my buyer sent it buyer photo develop on bayer what can you answer still Reverend Tim Fordjour on a sebrea I be woman young conqueror honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye no son some of the atuja efano Reverend Tim Fordjour member of Parliament Dema Ascent South.
You know, he says that, even the tires that were brought could not have been brought because there's no cargo compartment on the plane. Which begs the question, so that the crew that operates on that aircraft, their luggage, where did they put it? And these are tires and, what do you call it, boxes containing some accessories, I believe, and 2 boxes that can fit into a saloon car. How much more a plane? So how does this become the reason why anybody says that there are drugs on the plane and that there was money laundering? So you see, and indeed, I watched Godfrey Akutubu Acoustic. I take the criticism about our own approach. Of course, we live to learn every day. And I think that is feedback that we can use. But I think he makes the most telling analysis of Tim Fordjour's behavior, which I think you in the media should be making. You see, people cannot get up and say what they want. When they are pressed for information and they go scouting and say that somebody has said this, it doesn't add up, so what I'm saying is true. When he himself has failed, for what reason? He who has abused parliamentary privilege. And I'm putting it on record that if he says there were drugs on the plane and there was money laundering, he is peddling falsehood in the face of irrefutable documentary evidence.
Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye or a Minister of State in charge of government communication onona ode ensema ekoso efano Reverend Tim Fordjour ni narration ensema ode tuja ese made besi Kotoka International Airport cocaine money laundering tin besi ho wachechim sansemi na no akoye se besirim kabi no kaye besi nde ontumi ma evidence bia ye invite you so a wo so womba eno na nde ye kwakofo wi ha akoye se obi I say one ye kwache no by force invitation brand be cancel because asem no me kon wakama aye bibia wo ho no tarnish the image of the government government Ghana no tarnish the image actually the western world and we are seeing now make us say you and cry the letter ba actually so mo hwe na ebu anti Reverend Tim Fordjour you the right in the needful thing we are suffer na bibia entumi enye kama sa Okay. Yes, I ako East Legon, the residents were na yakoshe asama akoso were Reverend Tim Fordjour.
The people that they are the reason why we are where we are. Not for Nigeria. You have enough information that borders on national security. This one borders on national security. The integrity of the state. Our government is less than 3 months. If we are not getting 100%, today, right? It's right. And somebody is already saying that okay, if the person just meant to destroy the image of the country, that is their modus operandi. They are not satisfied that Ghanaians are giving them 38.2%. They are not happy. So they want to destroy the country. Because they want to run away from. Have you seen the Japan? From Japan. These are the characters we are dealing with. They have to. These containers are able to be identified. They can have containers and everything. Now containers are. We are seeing a lot of high money and this thing. Gold. So I put it in their revenue. So I put it in freezing. Japan is running after them. And you say they are arresting. I don't know criminals.
Do I want to tell you that you are his lawyer and so you are here to make some interventions?
Well, he called me. He told me that to come immediately because they've surrounded his house. Well, obviously, I'm a colleague, a former colleague, and also I practice law. So let me find out what is going on before we can advise you because it's a bit, frightening.
Preliminary information as to why the NIB is in his house.
I'm not too sure, but I told him that if there's a search warrant, he should see it before you let them in. Because you can't invade somebody's privacy without an order of the court. Yes. So this is where we all have to watch, and if there's anything to invite him, you can invite him. But if you besiege his house, a sitting member of Parliament.
But Parliament is on recess.
Whatever it is, whatever it is,
You see, if it's a drama, then you want to blackmail and intimidate people. But you don't need drama to do investigations. I have come to learn that almost serious investigations are submarine. You don't even know that they are even investigating you.
And that is what they are doing. But your members or probably the supporters heard it, and they are all here at this moment.
Well, I don't know what. No, but I don't know what they want to do with this. Understand? Because if you brought a common criminal, on the scene, then it's fine. A member of parliament, the people here, the policemen even outside.
This is not the first time we're witnessing a thing like this, whether in the current or previous governments.
It's all wrong. Whether it's in the previous government or not, two wrongs will not make one right. But what I'm saying that let's have decency, because we are still in the rule of law. It was the rule of law that brought President Mahama in. He saw on the Bible and the Constitution. What has changed? We are not even 1 year in this government, and we are seeing all manner of theatrics and intimidations and all
of it. Reverend Ntimfo Fie na yehu se impenifo kasano and if here was Painters Road ho na make say yenya feed na MPP supporters fo ekoguo ene meka ho mo kasa bebrebe ne lawyers kasano nsem na no nya dia bibibia gidigidi bia ya to nsa for Reverend Ntimfo say Reverend wona wode nsem abetudwa say a cocaine money laundering tina made no a basic Kotoka International Airport. It's a bibinia to anamona bra. Na yending common ma eti. O say o evidence be wuni ma woka. Na yenjina sumfanye juma asem na anini. Anti me kosono no ye just MPP supporters e kogu obebre. Enya dia yebo karat busli bi pimo. Emunsem na no so abansa nti me koso no yenya feed ni biom bibia ni abesan akofi ho na yakohwe ma ekoso wo ho na bibia etumi akọ enkan sa baby adri de honorable James Jachi-Quayson ye be kai papa yasema honorable James Jachi-Quayson member of parliament ba Asan South say make us say high court acquittal no discharge no fano nensem bia ye de ball no criminal charges link it to allegations of dual citizenship ebepie mo mokai owura Jachi-Quayson na ye twene ha na ye twene ha na ye twene ha na ye twene ha make say the Accra High Court acquittal and discharge owura Jachi-Quayson no dual citizenship case no so ya twene no emunsem ni bebre na nkasa nse ya de owura Jachi-Quayson yese ne ho acquitted and discharged onko no ne busua ene ne constituency for enkwaji omani no nko so enye MP mfembu omani nti we ya de akoso na owieye no oni media ne interaction omudi enkomo also okay nti yes I akọ Ntimfo Fie hobium because ehowura ayebutubutu. Okay, says ya de leader edema minority no afenyo marking no kasa mumen kotie na no DSM number
the interrogation or whatever they want to do. I don't understand why government is defying such arrangement with parliament. So we are going to prompt Mr. Speaker of this happening. The Minister of Interior, who has responsibility for national security matters, who himself is a member of parliament, would also be written to, because we don't understand this Rambo style approach. When we know that in the 6th, 7th and 8th parliament, and in fact even in this 9th parliament, we've had such practice. What we saw here this morning really was in a very bad taste, to get armed police, bring NIB officials to come. Then no MP is safe, no politician is safe.
But do you feel this impunity has been breached one or the other?
His what?
Immunity, pardon me.
But it is clear. Yeah. What they've done is a breach of privilege and immunity. It's obvious.
Leader, do we get the indication that they've written to the speaker? The speaker has agreed for him to be interrogated, and that has not been carried.
If any letter had been written, it would have been brought to my notice. When a letter was written for Kwame A+ and the other colleague, you know, it came to light. This is similar to the Rambo style approach they adopted, you know, in attempting to arrest our brother from Akwitia. Anyway,
if it is clear that his immunity has been breached, the minority, what would you do?
The Rambo style movement.
What will you invoke? Thank you. And the minority leader, Alexander Penyo, marking there again now establishing to us that the speaker has not been written to. As far as he is concerned, the speaker has not.
Yes, road to say, na yako Reverend in Team for ho. Make us say, the regular host of the show, my boss Ankasa, Mugabe Masi Salifu, Atankruga Biga, the Indian Bele man ho. Owa humana so amamenkwa na menene nkodi nkomo. Enti metena no enche yebenya Mugabe Masi ho. Na yeneno ending komonti Mugabe Masi wo ho or the report be brain na bibie tumi akonka ye hu wo hwe television se sia na mo hwe television wa so awutie me no Reverend in Team for Jofie was painters na make us say ye hu the New Patriotic Party MPC hu Kojo Pon Kroma so na minority leader or the two yete na no DCM se sia afenyo marking ono so the atudwa ye hu MPC ne bi ene supporters be ho mayankwade nkwati Kojo Pon Kroma no so nsema odi tudwa wo.
Members of the caucus come here because he doesn't speak on his own, he speaks for the entire caucus, and so everybody was here. We had some good interactions, and there's clarity. Nobody will be intimidated. Okay, the minority has a right to raise issues and exercise oversight. Let's go this way, and that oversight will be exercised. And if we elect anybody to speak on any matter, that person speaks on behalf of the caucus. Now, even if the person is a whistleblower, look at the Whistleblowers Act, Act 720. Even if the person is a whistleblower, you are barred by law from intimidating that person. What is all of this about? Over 20 gun-wielding NIB officials here because the minority has expressed a position on a matter and has asked for public. When the MV Benjamin matter took place, a whole public inquiry, George Wood was in the chair, a whole public inquiry was held to try and understand it. What is that the government is afraid of, for which reason when the man speaks, then you send about 20 NIB gun wielding, I'm sure you saw them, gun wielding AK-47 cocked all over the place, wearing masks and hoodies.
Did they get access to his room? Did they get access to him as a person? How long have they been staying here before leaving?
Well, currently they are not here. We were there with him. And had some sort of interactions with them. I won't go into details of
with the NIB official.
Yes, we had some interactions with them. Constitutionally, you cannot just pick up a member of parliament like that. And more so when the caucus, the entire minority caucus, is holding a press conference on a matter, and I am elected to address it or he's elected to address it. And you send about 20 gun-wielding, AK-47 wielding NIB officers to his house for what? Because he raised questions about something and asked that the government should investigate something. And I'm telling you the precedent. MV Benjamin, public inquiries were held. So
I'm interested in what are the remedies for him if it comes out clearly that his immunity or his privileges
expressed in parliament. A minority caucus expresses a position in parliament, and you say the person who articulated it has vacated his immunity. Which law is that?
No, I'm asking. There's an established protocol that when you want to interrogate or arrest an MP, you need to write to the speaker, seek his permission, and all of that. If that is breached, what are the remedies for?
It's even a second matter. The first matter is that when the minority caucus expresses a position on a matter. We held a press conference on financial matters, others held press conference on other things. You don't go after the spokesperson of the minority. It has never happened in Ghana's history. Is this the change? That's number one. Number two, even when you need a member of parliament, you saw quite recently, the speaker wrote and told them that you have to come to parliament and come and engage the person. Is that what you are seeing here? And that is why, as the minority caucus, we have had to object some engagements have taken place, and we are hopeful that the decent right thing will be done, but nobody will be intimidated.
Thank you. And that's MP for Ofasia Yorebe, Honorable Kujopon Kruma there, Elton. Just a few things.
It's a Kojo Ponkroma, member of parliament, the ma of Wasa Yiribi in the eastern region. On that, you say, or Casano, or Chem say, oh yeah, member of parliament, na me pacho, yes, or Muyensa. No, Raja, 2 questions, and me guswa, make an answer me. Or Raja, 2 questions, Munkai. Yet that type of pesa parliament, na tatano. Na ye didn't ha, and that ye, move a cassa. You say, oh, phone, sir, no water, what dear. Mamma Kwang Manosona Mene, Mugabe Masi. Salifu dendi mbeleman gumbe man menenu kodi enkomombra ora magabi masi wutie mi amwa harry
Nicholas Mejoso
na bibia boko de
na mina dom ye boko sa
you yes what grounds me will be afema ye
my visited about 3 areas this afternoon around Kutuku area Bebia Rush for factories no that industrial area no any idea Mr. Bonsu from eastern region side and by we said Juma will and as I said it yesterday said now no you did rule the baby the Ecoso the Nema Ecoso Bonsu Junction the Bonsu Junction and baby Linda door no Jumoya any your core area to form amount for a day upon the car upon doors. Eddie, I almost want to so only free go so Sankore any Chimania, the Omodi bank crime. A baba beton, a bit more for to any idea. Omobi group going to Junction. Way any forest before the stop will move. Any say a year or 10 in a task force. Or 10 in a task force. Which is uncle for the Beginoni, you so much. Yeah, the walk now, Ponona, Waludua, maybe a wire permit, that's why with the Abano, and yet illegal way legally, ya will documents be done. Ya could you put in a jaw now, yes, so Falca heading echo. A coswa, I'm a driver's air complaining, and I made this. I didn't say me to car. Nami, I made my soil then to form the métier. I don't want to believe, say, Washington is aware of what is going on, but our task force will be a form of our task force. Promote to a double junction. Enough is enough. Akufado is no more in power. We are sending the warning to their doorstep. Say enough is enough. Talk of one and so much your task force. So taking any way. And we move you to do editing some money was our quanaswa. On Pomun free war. Had be a driver, so mobility near heading. Are you moving a DSM? Send your heading fata. Secondly, some immigration officers here. Woman nam yes, media any Hebron. Ajin Kotoku, that areas almost say Indians 4 or Chinese 4 or see a corner of media me one thing about me is a name so idea illegal. Idea any one so. But say be a immigration officer. Now we go factory be one officer say Chinese for na Indian for Egyptians and I say a mindful for being go for Newaha. The first thing I will be engaged to talk to the authorities. Now more to me than staff in another bar mountain. Staff on the bar mountain. No my investigation. No more money in Katano. Minister also say will be in Katano or a foreigner. Yaman Kwano year Juma Ewaha. Tanko for you, mobile you my essence change. But I said the boy immigration officer will acquire arrest. Now we be about one. Why is dinner then every one? Dear Ben, our person, Peter Ben, our person, painted Ghana for. If you dress in your uniform, let them get to know you, identify yourself as an immigration officer from A, B, C, D, and you have been assigned to come and do this work. And I see across the South, one crater, any be a woman, so many crater. A bassa, and immigration for a senior, Betty say, yeah, will be the Marco court. Our winning case be against the immigration service, but it was not under this man I friend said Basantali. This man I was in charge to control our want to see your friend said Basantali, and you have the authority in it in nonsense. If you can say, we make it sure say, and you might be tonight, then atoto na kwa mo kama said e be ya amamu no joma resetting Ghana no agenda editini aye adwanti we aye what they say one na the massa immigration officers or money nam ya bi owo of omo kwa adwuma no money nam no mo yisu mo powers e dey as ni omo stop e basa investors omo ba o man mo no enye good and pretty good picture of us as a country. You as I speak, you know, you were Czech Republic president in Ghana here. Yeah, no more question no social media they are monitoring everything. And then lastly, NDC as a political party. And then many several calls you when the Kasa will be office. Several calls within 24 hours then come up. Some of our MPs, many MPs no more parliament, you know. You almost say you DC MCs, you know. What's the way there? When you nipa into many in Yajuma. And yes, we MP also are now caught in our parliament. If be a nipa or so once you can't pay many jano or pay DC, you be a man. But they be also interested to see our personal protecting to know, or personal interest in to know. Now I quite with baby, name penny, influence, name penny, nipa and yafane and yambra. Say the questions are the enemy NDC as a political party, we party in 2028 year. We enjoy media NDC kasa wa bebu mu enjoy vetting our regional level. I'm a penifo sin kunya will be our bank and and look at people on vetting committee no national national chairman Valerie Soya and a Cletus Avoka penifo a title for the team. Yes, I'm penifo that acquire vetting na MP Soya about the case media ni person in the parliament answer sano na me parliament we me service no ye fa no ye den emra say society are MPs no we very 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 careful because this year ya give the grade nyina no win or change no blow baby ano and you have to test me you are very careful they say the MPP for years so we DC we MCU ultimate MP into will be a pro be a obebo na chido mo se nipa no wa boa no kwa no aba be win seat no na o free say we no okoye DC anase MC a e bia e be do be no so about the 3 seat meeting no one person nipa no ye ko fo obi a oye popular we de ko we are 20 ano na assembly for na 20 ano na assembly for 20 ano na si good president na nya ban ni maase media NDC ni e woni media mo e woni bibia mo so ti enye na yi grounds no was ko bi a yi o ma ye make it here ni say ye say ti change din no say we ni na say da bi ya confirm say we ni de ne ba na asada no we are very careful we are very very careful the last of a year Valerie Soya honorable Konenzada Cletus Avoka Stephen Katiano omo onim enough so omo no ya din say be ba say ya de no original vetting ya original one na view yes and family national the national for omo nim de omo ya ba. Let's respect their decision. MPs they should stay away and do their work. Na we confirm be you emotional. Obi de ni baba bia no. Fa won to abo no ntuma no na won ne nyede. Enye adwuma. Ento no nyede. Enti me koso na Ghana na reset no. Mutu no reset. Migration for na omo tete investors baba ha. Omo ekwa omo with that card ni ade. Omo very careful.
Anyway, my fan na say Kesipa Fema your host Edema Inside Politics. Na konya na metisui Mugabe Mase wo a report or diamaye ewie. Minim se mpanifo betu anamon na MPs no so obi ayeyi na se DC MC aname obi ano so monhwe na muni omunye adwuma because you resetting mine no na bibie tumi akonka. Yen sign crossover na yen cost printers embra.
And the Minister for Defense will not know this type of operation that they are going to do. Normally, once you get a court warrant, they don't have a court warrant, but we asked them, they didn't have a court warrant. The security persons who came here, they didn't have a court warrant. They said that the faces of the senior officers is a court warrant by itself, which obviously is not granted in any law. So they didn't have a court warrant. And then they came to come and pick him by force. And that is why we are saying no. The Speaker has given a directive that, look, if you want to engage a member of Parliament, arrest a member of Parliament, come to Parliament, interrogate him. If he has committed a crime, he'll be arrested. We don't have a problem with that. In fact, they have engaged no less than 3 members of parliament from our side. Or do you understand what I'm trying to say? They've engaged our members.
The latest,
they've engaged our members, and 2 more will be engaged on the 7th. So I'm not too sure why they are doing what they are doing. It's a very simple thing. The man says that, look, I have evidence, I have information that 2 aircrafts came, and I believe that those aircrafts may have carried something contraband, which is not good enough. He never accused any government official. He never accused the NDC party. I'm very shocked that the government is so defensive. It happened during our time. A suspicious aircraft came. The NDC raised that they believe that carried drugs. What we did was we set up a committee to investigate it. We didn't go arresting the people who raised it. It came. 2 aircrafts came. The same thing he's doing, the same thing happened. We didn't go out there to arrest anybody. We didn't go out there to say that because you gave us information. We set up a committee and led to serious reforms. That look, when an aircraft is coming, for example, and our airspace, the Air Force should be part of it, and this should be, the soldiers should all be part. So I don't know why the government is fidgeting. I don't know why the government is worried and is on a defensive mode. They didn't need to go back and read the statement whether the gentleman, the MP attacked government. No. Whether he attacked the NDC. No. So I don't know why they are fidgeting and they are worried about what.
I mean, you said earlier that they didn't have a warrant for entry.
They didn't. We asked them.
So what was their reason for coming?
We asked them whether you have a warrant. They said, well, the faces of the senior officers is enough. They don't have any warrant, but for them, a senior officer's face is a warrant.
Which senior officers?
Those who came to do the arrest.
Did they indicate who ordered them to come?
They said the Director General of the National Investigation Bureau ordered them to come. And I told them that I'm not sure the Director General will do that. I know him very well. I mean, we schooled together. He was my senior in secondary school. He's a fine gentleman. I'm not sure he will do such a thing. I was trying to get him, and I will get him today, and I will advise them. At least, after sitting there for 8 years, there are some things you just simply don't do. You just create tension, unnecessary tension. Look, MPP is not a mushroom party. We may not have won an election, but if the NDC were to look at the election results very, very well, they will realize that majority of the MPP supporters just stayed out. And 4 years is a very simple thing. I don't believe that in any election that the NDC does not win, they want this to be happening to them. The simple thing is very simple. Invite the member of parliament. The speaker has said, if you want to interrogate the member of parliament, come to parliament. They would, the person will be made available, and you interrogate him. And trust me, Reverend will be in parliament tomorrow. He will be there the whole day, waiting for them. If they want to interrogate him, they should come and interrogate him. I don't think that he's going to run away. We will not do that. We are responsible people. We are a responsible opposition. What we promise the people of Ghana is that we will be responsible opposition, and we're going to do that. So,
are you taking the NIB on for what happened here?
I think that,
especially when it doesn't have any backing of law, as you say.
I think that after this, I am seriously going to not just take the NIB on, but I'll take the government on. You cannot send a group of people claiming that they are NIB officials. You have NIB officials. They have no warrant. They themselves said they don't have any warrant, and then they are coming to harass people. Listen, just go get a warrant. If you don't have a warrant, then invite the person for a friendly chat. But if you want to arrest the person, go and get a warrant and arrest the person. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't even send 20 people to arrest the person.
You are going to take government on us and sue government. What are the
No, not at all. Where I sat, and I have always said, I have 2 minutes sensitive information in my hands. There are a lot of things that I know that if I were to start talking, it will not be good for this nation. And so I won't do some of the things. But I'm saying that it is my duty to advise. And I've said it, I've advised them in private. I've spoken to most of the ministers on private. I've spoken to a lot of them in the private. Some are MPs, some are not MPs. I said, look, after 8 years, I can also advise you to do A, B, C, D. In this instance, if you say you are looking for Reverend, you had a whole week or a whole 1.5 weeks since he made that statement to go to court, get a court warrant, and flag the court warrant on his face. We have a court warrant to arrest you.
Some who think that all of this scenario would have been prevented if you had advised the MP to attend upon the invitation of the security.
Nah, you see, the speaker has given a directive as to how you invite MPs. You don't just invite an MP just for the sake of inviting the MP. The Speaker said, if you want an invitation, channel it to either the leadership or through Parliament, and they'll make that MP available. So if you just write to me and say you are inviting me, I won't come. Not because I don't want to, but I have to follow the direction of the Speaker. So all I'm saying to you is that the Reverend said, I am available. I heard him say it, and I read it in the newspapers that I'm available. Anytime you need me, follow the due process, I will come. And the due process are two. You have the Speaker's directive, and by law, get the warrants. It's as simple as that. They have not done any of those things. That's a problem.
Do the sector ministers have questions to answer when you come back to them?
I think that the sector ministers should not set an example, a very bad example for our democracy. I'm not sure that this is what resetting means. And so the sector ministers really need to ask themselves whether this is the good example for them. And I don't think they'll be happy with what has happened.
I'm not inviting them.
No. From tomorrow, we are going to have a caucus meeting, and I believe we'll meet the press tomorrow, and I'm quite sure that we'll lay out what we want to lay out tomorrow for the general public to know. But all I say to you is that Reverend Tim is available. Anytime that they want to invite him, they want to interrogate him, they should come to Parliament and interrogate him. But if they choose to arrest him, they should get a court warrant and flash it in front of him and arrest him. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Honorable Nitu. Colonel, what do you make of what's happening in Canada?
They speak nicely to you people, and you give the report for nice.
Once my leader
we are telling you that we don't want nice reportage about the party MPP.
You are showing solidarity.
We are ready to meet good for good with whatever the MDCs are trying to do. We don't care, and we don't fear anybody.
Happening and what's happened.
This time round, we don't want where big men will be giving big and gentle language.
Still going back in.
They're over. Then we'll start pushing them somewhere, and we'll take over the media.
You were around when the minority leaders spoke.
Languages for us.
Right, and the former defense minister has also spoken. I think it's enough for now.
Okay. Thank you, Elton. Familiar face too.
Okay, it's Reverend Team for your residence. Wo eye spenters na ye kokofa eye enkomo ye hu eye Kenel Damwa ono no member of parliament ma eye German South ono na ye hu no ansa na ye hu eye former eye defense minister honorable Dominic Nitiwo ono so yitie na no din sem ekuku da mi na ye hu se omo kasa wo Reverend Team for your residence nti mekosu na no ehwa na bibi for latest development bi aba besan wako na yakofa amo na san na yebekọ Reverend Tim Fojo fie na yekohuma ekoso ho no na me ne wo ka honorable James Jachi question nsema nde wokọ wo de wani twemo Accra High Court make say de so onko fie no ne busuane ne constituency for enkoji omani na onkoye na adwuma say onko shembram fa mo my Ghana mo beka ya Jachi question criminal charges or mo de born linked to allegation of dual citizenship when sema ye chesena okita Canada passport sanso wo Ghana passport na wo ba na wo begina bibia se president to so begina mresha bedwani MP or say wo ka se dual citizenship ye mfa ye adwuma nti se Ghana de ana we kura na Canada de wo ne wo twem tintan nti we ye beka aka ye ho a owura Jachi kwesi na ye tata no or parliament na ye konde Reverend Tim for the abamo mu ye dede ye beka owura Jachi kwesi na no so ye tata no parliament na ye chesi papa na nye so ogina ha ne meka ho ende de ya hwe ne nsem no akyere se ne ho son nti onko fie na onko ye ne dwuma kama nti yankwe oni media ni nya press briefing kakra yenkotie honorable James Jachi kwesi member of parliament de ma Asen South Asen North mo fa ncheme ne nsem ode to dwa.
But this is a court of law. You know, that's the difference between prosecution and persecution. And I'm very proud that our Lady Justice, Mary, I was going to tell her in the courtroom, but I mean, the rules doesn't allow that. I was going to tell her she's a very decent human being, and more blessings for her. Thanks to God, thanks to all these people behind me, family, friends, my dear sister here, member of parliament. I don't know, but my mental state was normal. I'll be honest with you. They will tell you, my sister here will tell you, when you are not wrong, there's nothing you should worry about. no matter where you put the person, they will bounce back. That was my reaction, that I know I'm innocent. I wouldn't do this. I didn't come here to dupe or deceive anybody. I came to help my community and to help the country, to serve my people and my country. And I made sure I did the right thing.
Inti Honorable James Jati Quason acquitted and discharged Accra High Court. To me, na semina we twam tinto tintan to onkonkoye na adwuma kama. Inti Asen North for matter asem de says ya de minim say na first de bia mo tia na ne MP omo ha no papa wa akoma po ne meka ho nyame adom minim say wo bekọ Asen North mprempre de wo bekọ na omo na ebuosi says ya de mo MP ne ho so obenya asomdwe etumi aboa na o ma hyemra na mamoso mo hwehwe wo mo constituency wa Asen North no wa ye ne ye amamma bibia etumi akọ enkan nti ma efi ho so abano no wonim say edru Wednesday sa time media ye de apomuden ho nkomo na ye de bro ye Power Specialist Herbal Hospital papa make us forever young ni bibia so on point from top to down wo boa a champion doctor on anybody asem na make nande wo hwa ndro ni bia beka ho yehu jirikaji sk yehu liver care yehu edu aya herbal mala mixture ana mala mixture saso na hebaton ansa na tonic no tonic I am makai ye late driver ata Emmanuel ata no pepa tonic edro no so kama pa nti ndoni e bebonkomo afa Power Specialist Herbal Hospital home me pese obetie bi na obehwe doctor owura studio wa ha wo musikwa je nieme edibesi wo sofo pawo ese weni ense de catro nti doctor ma me ma wakwa ba bibia boko de na Power Specialist Herbal Hospital mo wono sonko a Ghana fo agi atu mafia ha kra no wo be sem brasban na edifia mo kwan nti doctor
me da se abusia ya mo akwa ba Power Tambre aso Power Specialist Herbal Hospital ya den chef ya Dr. Pania or the hospital no doctor akosia adu aya hod bibia ojebre na ohwe Power Time wuti Power Time there be ansem ayekan ayeba akopɛ adansidie papa nkrofo edifa power ho TV so radio so internet ene emia hodo no wonso beka adansidifo no bi Power Specialist Herbal Hospital dodo no afan ye last stop yo Kumasi won crime ena ye wo takra di Kumasi wo fe yase ye ni Jasper Flint Station di enhwani mu wo aputo ja contract kwan no so Lake Road ana yewo Accra wo kwabenya ACP kwansa ne block factory no edi enhwere mu na afi takra de wo Anaje Estate Customs Road yene single washing bay no so di enhwere mu numbers no ayemiensa famu bia na frɛ wo fra branch na ebe ono ne ama direction aba ho na wa baba je wa yaresa numbers no 0555 797878 0200 383831 and 0244 544422 Monday to Saturdays any the ayejma na oba ye nyabre ehwehwe ni padua mu lab papa bi a ohia se ma ya no baye ye di mfiri be hwehwe mu so ohia se ma ye scan so ohia se ma ye x-ray bibi biara sase ma wo ye nye hu de akoso ni padua mu no ye baye ansan de dru account nti Power Specialist Herbal Hospital yankopa adom ye ntom fom ya de ye nkasa wo semte we de e bia uti ya wo ye de wonuma ye onunu de be sa ya de we no ye nya ne sa ye make sure say be tackle the cost of symptoms no ya de no kwa ensan mabiem ba bia wo bia ne ya de bia ha bia wo de anante ache ye wo so ya de we de enu ana du ko wo mu no Fabra Power Specialist Herbal Hospital yankopa adom onfa ya de ne ma ensan fa nko de bera eda ba bia wo a wo hwe Power Time wako ye scan wako hospital ya catch say wo kidney stones and now kidney cells saya de we akame se kwa na ekonanim de ye die ni de ye num ama ye kidney ne mabebre ana eba ho ama wo mfe no mfe aya wo ya wachi aya wo ya umia wonase a na atomu nase nyina tatai usisi achi lower back ho aya wo ya ehyehew ade be siw sisi achi nya sam ketwa bada banyanu anim nyina honhono kidney stones kidney cells we any pa best 10 scanner wanya kra no best 6 and 7 oni kidney stone no kidney cells misraw tumika bra Power Specialist Herbal Hospital Kumasi and crime anasa ayeta krade odie no aye fatty liver tieniye fatty liver chesa obrabo no ayesrade wo chika sa ya wo ya o chest ha aya wo ya wo ya funu no huna na hono ama wo mfe no mfe aya wo ya wo ya ho hwia enyeye wani aya very yellow yeso onya jaundice hepatitis B and asa fatty liver betimi ama wani no aya very yellow o Johnson and it's a Lipton and asa Coke saya dia we ya dia ekun krofo pa Nemo so tiba power specialist hospital nyankopɔ adom ye wadura ade bema wa ebe hili liver no ama ho timi atɔ sesi amene ka say doctor akoso do nyankopɔ ama nimdi a wade herba aye hwehwemu ni aye aduro bi afa ni liver care enkrofo di ho adanse pa na no ba obi simi yafuru no na esotese kwa na ekofom nyame adom ebetwe ama bibia ye kama say srade na ada liver no ho a ebe wohoro no nyina say ye liver no na eye kese a ebe tuntun no nyina manasa ya dan aban ba bia na eda aban normal size say liver no aye cirrhosis a chenchene a sa adro ya liver care no ebe ye ho adwuma bibi biara atochema e wo liver no ho de wo hia adro ya liver care aya hamanu so pure herba ya sone so bronin sanu edi bo adwuma na Food and Drugs Authority and so ajatuma register ede amayen omani so benya adro ya liver care ni bi na problem bi awo e wo liver no ho no atimi aboa na atu ase wo yefuru no ebetwe ama bibia nso so atimi aye kama adu akire no hepatitis B yade ba ko awiase nyina ase ani aduro na so dabia meka say monyam ka nyankopɔ din say Power Specialist Hospital any hospital ba ko pɛ tieniye dini ya ba ko pɛ Power Specialist Hospital any hospital ba ko pa hepatitis B yade na etimi sa etu ase and now on Monday and now Wednesday and then 3 days Monday you test negative me bakana asa last week or last 2 weeks Saturday we test negative and is say mo mudi ho adanse no edoso obo akọ baba no asemi nua bi wo UK nua bi wo US ono no hwa no aka kire me say me ono ankasa kora watia no kana onuteye na so mo UK ni US ni amia hodo no wo mo direct nkrofo mo bagi no de sande mo abrochire na results papa ni adanse die papa efiri ho bana nyasam ketwa sa wata say hepatitis B positive say ya ukunu say ya were say ya oba say ya onua bi e ma ne hye dem na onsu e ma obi mu abamu kan cho say ade no kwesi eni aduro Power Specialist Hospital any hospital yankopɔ adom wama doctor akwaso adua ya dura ya de say ade we etu ase baby a wo bia so test positive a enu nkyese owie ya no ayaresa wo hono ade mam ye wa dansidie ni pedi adanse na edoso award ahodo agine Ghana hania ma no eye bebre enti hepatitis B die ne master eye Power Specialist Herbal Hospital oyo bia ulcer how tieniye ya na ma obo no nyina yo ya de kopie wa chutanya heartburns wudi dia na aduane jejabu indigestion ya na usara nyina titiriti ya na se enframa be agina oyam akomode wa oyam ayo ya aduane to oyam oyam ayo ya na ma obo afuno obo akura sabe otimi afe sentini se ulcer no ayekro ekro soso enyan enti etimi de abofuno eden eba oso ulcer betu ama wa fon aye tantantan misro so yo bia wa ulcer anaso hu symptoms ahodo amekeka nyina bia Tumikabra Power Specialist Hospital. Yanuntina doctor akoso adua ya ede aduro ya ba efro SK. Adua ya SK that is stomach care. Ekuro bia wo ya funu mu. Say ya duodenal ulcer, say ya peptic ulcer. Obomode na onya adua ya SK na so stomach care ni bia. Ebetu ase de amount. Tumikabra Power Specialist Hospital. Ya betche anuane asese wudi de babo de emwa. De ba bri kuro no ya ma wonni. De babo ma wo treatment no aye smooth no. Yebabua mo atimi adina aboa me atuade wo yase ade amount bema bia wotwe so mu problem wan hweye ne wan tu asientam a ye de rubber be show bamam edu sa be na chese oti yate misro wodwe so anketenkete kakra bi na Johnson ado wokwa akitwa bi na aba wochima nsa na Johnson aba Johnson na eba na obamam ya wo ya obamam hyehyew ama wa yase nyina ayese ten Johnson kurantumi emma wo Johnson wi a na bi ebi akamu wo Johnson wi a hu se moja edi akire obokra Johnson eba ni nyina nso eye moja misro entena ho ebetimi afru prostate ebia ya blood that's cystitis ebetimi ya kidney ebia ya ureter na so urethra and as a untreated infections be syphilis be on yani brebi gonorrhea be on yani brebi na this symptom no abrawa this so na dia abrawa bra power specialist about hospital yenya lab yenya scan yen fa machines nhwehwe mu ne hu de na dia ba ne mo into asema ho ntimi ento wako test malaria positive we hear edua ya malamis ye juma pa Food and Drugs Authority registered jatum ede amayen na da bia mekasa nkrofo treat typhoid some malaria bia de na typhoid but anam say onu ye onwono ya na ho ayehye waposo no poso ye omre entunum say malaria obi test malaria negative but doctor need to make us symptoms need no or man malaria treatment me wa ni nipa ni malaria Mr. Bra Power Specialist Hospital typhoid the draw betu ase ama ho atimi atọ ya de bia how bia oba power nyame adoma yaresa e wo ho edema wonu nya ode untumi enidi wa yare ama ho atọ foforo wo hia adua ya herbal tonic sai no nyina na ya pure herbal enya brofuduro ya ye ho aduma yie ya sone so yie na Food and Drugs Authority register jatum ade amayen na so ya be ma na nyema nkoye ma wo mpamudi a ene na wo hia adua ya jirika jiri ni dini ne honam se jirika jiri unya bia betimi aboa we enya aphrodisia da bi esaw yade be ma na yentini ni moja kasa bia nim enti se moja no entini nkontini ni mu a ne chesa aka no kwato hona ayemre aduro be yi sa ne ma na fini nyina afiri ntini ni mu ne moja na timi awuram na be ma na timi agina so na watimi abodwuma na se wonya eye hebaten immune system booster we de kan wo se dia ne se ba bia wu ade amawo Mode ma sanka no nyina bi baabi eto ha baduro bia no kwa benya ye no nyina bi ato ya de bia ha bia say ya kompo na ehye omnim ya mfa sekan enka ya ho ya nya surgery oba betu ase be na ne nyina afiri ho ama ho atimi ato bone fracture do mpeni mo bupen wi pe wa dudu wa titiriti wutia fam asa ade eta onamu oba ba ya massage kama ama blood circulation atimi take place na so ho atimi ato ya de bia ha bia Fabra Power Specialist Herbal Hospital Yo Kumasi won crime ena ye water cry the Kumasi wo fe yase ye ni Jasmine filling station di enhwani mu wo aputu oja contrast kwan so Lake Road ena ye wo Accra wo kwabenya ACP Council ne block factory no edi enhwani mu na takra de wo Anaji Estate Customs Road ye ne single washing bay no di enhwani mu frey 0555 797878 0200 383831 and 0244 544422 Monday to Saturdays and the age. But it was a celebrity algebra na Osha Power Time. Nyame admada sana sabre yanso yedi apomde hon samono ebebro.
Mamenda Doctor Oheneba Asebebre of Power Specialist Herbal Hospital na endoni ebedi enkomwe. Hwehwe mo cha kwan ti se mo kan poku ase ACP kwan no so won kran krodwemu takrade de obehu no wo eye Anaje MA Primary School ho na opposite pe obehu mo ho bitaso no Kumasi Feyase Lake Busumtwi Road so opposite Jesbro Filling Station eno so mo ho Alaji Sorogo ese menkan chom se jirika jine ya ne dia na momfa hebaten nka homa no na neni abrenkai ne de mbetumi afa na makomanim baby adri me yenkwaja aboafo enkrato enkomra na yeba me hobia de beto also.
very quality form ninti on be for adwuma kra na wo employer no person to 500 600 Ghana but in the certificate omonya wa ha no e kire se obi person of na adwuma kra you must meet the standard because nipa no emia na ni esua nipa no wo the basic requirement ye de yes adwuma no na yeso ye the work abroad aba work abroad no kre women say we want to streamline the export of labor send ya obi free Ghana omo no omota akọ connection man nchen omo no omota akọ abochifo nchen se omonye visa ma ona wo so ntimi ntukwa no obi wo a yesisi omo sa ya jo ni sika edi sa nso ntimi nya bibia enkoye this time ye ba na ede ni nyina ba into one pool na government anya interest in it na ye skilled labor wo ha no enya school nko na ye kwa brochire o I don't see why a Ghana for bebre na wo a problem with obi ko ho akoye adwuma nso wo ko ho akosuku dia no mo ba wa ba so enya obi a na epese wo ko ho akoye suku obi wo ho pe so wo ko ho akoye adwuma government must have an interest in it but you see what we want to stop a brain drain say na obi ko ho na wo ko tana ho contribute to our country na economy na wo ko retirement na owu a no mo the dead body na ba ha this time ye pese esiesie wa obi ko ho akoye adwuma no skill bi a wo so besua ho no na asanso aboa ama wasa ba Ghana na wo be kire ye nuomo no ma omoso eba nti we would tap into this pool would ensure that ebi mbe adwuma wa na ye de ebi mo so akwama no ne no makoye adwuma na omo ko ho ombenya akwenya akọ akoye adwuma no omo saba no mo be inculcate ni omo susua ho no back into the youth of this country.
Enti yeni Abasintali on the Chief Executive Officer at the Youth Employment or no agency on na yete nkano and there say one wuti power between be two one who say if a press conference Honorable Samuel Nete George or a Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations or a press briefing or ne press no edi hon komo na and some of the two gonna be or just say Masim registration be beginning 1st July 2025 and moma yen shannon so biom order to just say additional spectrum approved for MTN Telecel ne poor service to attract fines or can wasem so no see ministry no be launch pilot of 1 million coders program nyame ya aduma 16th of April 2025 with 250 people no so ya dia no so ebe koso sa or the biom order to just say wunnim na wo cat fiber na eyade a emre ne obedi papa eyade a no so emre enu obedi ntisa ne mani na no kan ho asem ode to dwa say NCA no enya de obetoa so na wa extend Kenny GVG contract no Kenny GVG contract no CNC ento so when in sembebre na press briefing no order to dwa etime pese ebekọ na yakohwe kasamfonyi ne yeba ekukudam so ofie ha ebedi nkomo yankohwe asema Honorable Sam George order to dwa area.
The Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation laid a solid foundation for a digitally resilient Ghana that delivers real value and opportunity for every Ghanaian. The technology sector is a central pillar of Ghana's economic reset and is critical to positioning Ghana at the top of the digital and competitive global economy. Recognizing this, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama made a pre-election promise to launch the 1 million coders program, a bold initiative to train 1 million young Ghanaians in digital skills, empowering them to thrive in the rapidly growing business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing sectors. As a ministry, we have quickly moved to turn this vision into action, to equip our youth for the future of work through the 1 million coders program. The ministry has launched intensive efforts to mobilize partners and secure the resources needed to implement the program and deliver results at scale through strategic diplomacy and public-private partnerships. Under my guidance, the Ghana-India Kofi Annan Center for Excellence in ICT has developed a standardized curriculum and multiple digital skill disciplines at the beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels to enable a uniform training ecosystem for all Ghanaians, irrespective of the part of our country in which they reside. A landmark memorandum of understanding was signed with the MTN Group in Barcelona a few weeks ago, with several other agreements with other private Ghanaian and international partners currently being finalized to support implementation of the 1 million coders program all aligned with our commitments to positioning Ghana as Africa's premier digital talent hub. The level of interest and support from the private sector is a testament to the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I am confident that several private partnership verticals will see us achieve the ambitious goal of positioning Ghana as a net exporter of critical digital skills in the short to medium term. The ministry will launch the program with a pilot covering Greater Accra, Ashanti, Bono, and the Upper East regions exactly a week from today on April 16th, with over 250 people from Accra, Bolga, Sunyani, and Kumasi expected to participate in the launch. The program is inclusive by design with an integrated 50-50 gender split. Further, we would leverage our district assemblies and community information centers in the subsequent implementation phases to ensure that the program reaches every corner of Ghana, not just urban centers. And at this juncture, I want you to know that the website is active for all citizens who intend to take part in the pilot to go online and register. The URL is www.1millioncoders.gov.gh. I repeat, www.1millioncoders.gov.gh. At the core of digital inclusion is affordable internet access. And it is pursuant to this that the President promised to partner with private sector players to make internet access more affordable for low-income households through targeted subsidies, discounted data packages, and device financing schemes. In February, I established a multi-stakeholder data cost pricing committee comprising telecom service providers, consumer groups, and the regulator. The committee was given a 14-day mandate to deliver a roadmap for implementation to achieve more cost-effective data prices. The committee delivered its report in 13 days. I'm grateful to all the stakeholders who worked assiduously and at no cost to the state, I repeat, at no cost to the state, to produce a short, medium, and long-term approach to data price rationalization in our country. Again, I say ayiko to them for their selfless service to our country. I have studied the roadmap document that they produced and referred it to the regulator, the NCA. The authority under the able leadership of the Acting Director General has held several engagements with mobile network operators to discuss and fashion out implementation plans and modalities. I have personally engaged with the CEOs of the 3 MNOs, and I am pleased to announce that all 3 have presented the ministry and the regulator with specific improved data bundles for tertiary students across our country, as well as for content creation and gig economy demographics. In the coming days, the NCA will finalize the implementation and technical requirements with the relevant stakeholders for public rollout of the specific data bundles. In the interim, I have agreed with all 3 mobile network operators to have unique data bundle packages for all of their subscribers, which is all Ghanaians, on 5 national holidays: Independence Day, May Day, Republic Day, Founders Day, and Farmers Day. The Independence Day test run was a resounding success, and I look forward to working with the NCA and the MNO on May Day for our next holiday offering and celebration of the workers of Ghana. I have also noted several complaints about the quality of service of almost all the network providers in the country. This past week, I have taken decisive policy decision to approve technology neutrality and additional spectrum for MTN Ghana. I have also directed the NCA to make an additional spectrum offer to Telecel Ghana. These are to provide both operators with more resources to improve their service offerings and quality of service. However, on the back of these approvals, I wish to serve notice that the NCA would, within 3 months of the assignment of this additional spectrum, begin a rigorous enforcement of quality of service on the providers. Failure to provide a marked improvement in quality of service by the network operators will result in stiff fines. The ministry and regulator have fidelity to the Ghanaian people, and we will ensure that they get the best customer service and experience. The telecom sector has not been without its challenges. The previous government acquired Airtel Tigo and rebranded it as AT with a reported purchase value of $1. Nothing could have been more disingenuous and unpatriotic. When the company was bought, its debt portfolio stood at $400 million and its revenues could not meet its monthly overheads. The core and billing platforms have reached the end of life, and both Bharti Airtel and Millicom, which operated Tigo, had failed to make any meaningful investments in both companies over the preceding 5 years. The decision to step in at the time can best be described as ill-informed and reckless. It was an abdication of responsibility by the then administration and minister to the best interest of Ghana. Today, after a debt restructuring arrangement, the debt portfolio at AT sits at about $200 million, rising every month as the company makes a monthly operating loss of 20 million Ghana cedis. The bleeding needs to be triaged, and urgent steps are underway to engage the company's creditors in negotiating haircuts to ensure the company's viability. I will be updating the nation in the course of this quarter on the policy directions the ministry will be taking as a sole shareholder to ensure the security of the jobs of employees and the long-term survival of the business. To effectively regulate technology in today's fast-evolving digital environment, I have initiated a comprehensive review of existing legislative and regulatory frameworks. The ministry I took over has legislation that should be in a museum and not as the underpinnings of a technology ministry. The current state of the legislative environment of the ministry is as follows. The Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT has no Establishment Act. Ghana Telecom Act of 2003. The Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commissions Act of 2003, Act 649. The Electronic Communications Act 2008, Act 775. Electronic Transactions Act of 2008, Act 772. The National Communications Authority Act of 2008, Act 769. The Data Protections Act of 2012, Act 843, and the Cybersecurity Act of 2020, Act 1038. This means that most of our legislation is 17 to 21 years old. That's why I said our legislation should be in a museum and not running a technology ministry.
It's the minister in charge of communication, Ora Sam George, Nete, Onuna Yetin, and can the press conference or the two na or church Mokwaya, the ministry, so Omutu Efa, your communication, ne, Niama, or Mopeso Moyena fee, Fan Sims and Semu Nayatibi, additional spectrum, also Modebe Kahua, Ebe Bo Telecell, any MTM, my year, Juma Kamani Nano, Wakahun Sem, sim registration online on Bay. Shas 1st July no so odinina atudwa me did say na ya tibi nti yen hye so ebeye enya afi na beka se twetwetwe bibia ebededin ma bibia tumi aye kama na ndra me bra penning kan bibi fa Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC ho endesu yegusu bisa because we do any chem wo Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC a ensem mebre na nkasa na nkofo ebisa wo GBC ho yebera His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Bayana Odisolvo board bia na yebisa and then we say woka Ghana Broadcasting Corporation as old board no ye dissolve yana GBC asem na make you because old board no assign ababe de abetu dwa akase your friend said Professor Amin Alasan onko suntua ni dwumedie so Way ama woko GBC staff and management in Tinsemase. Fi say enim say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Bai no we dissolve board no. Inti GBC hwe enim say board foforo na beba no motu sa na mo no. Inti board a MPP create ye no. Omo ni nsa wo mu so omutumi san beka say Director General Adema GBC ntoa na adwuma so. We ya asema ye bisa ewie. Inti asembisa ne say old board no dia no mo ye. because when him say dissolve into so mo pe baby fa na mo kaka che staff ne say mo sign ama director general na to any dwuma so na ye bisa say management o che so mo nim say enche GBC director anase director general no Professor Amin Alasan na ncho say last year no so to me call retirement what pay retirement just say a bank crash on say or call retirement ne ban say na umpese papa ne santua na dwuma so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama GBC for so many nje Ora Felix Ofosukwache minister in charge of communication government communication na GBC under you na old board na still no mo yes papa no ntua na dwuma so nkoso nyi omo so omo ntiase enti papa ne de May muntie ni ni age ne chere say 24th May 1965 na ye wo no nti also call retirement May 2025 nti next month ye also papa no call retirement GBC adwumayefo management chere say omani nje adwuma papa ne ye no ho na omunim say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eni me on hansa no na GBC ntumi restructure ntumi ye niam yi and then watch niam anko yi Professor Amin Alasan enti GBC staff no say niam bi koso ho a old board no guso ene name wo ho mani nche ho MPP fo na wo sa board no baaye MPP ko ye dissolve board bia enti GBC board no omunni ho kwan old board no say omutu anamon bia wo ho enti meyenim ne say Professor Amin Alasan nyame adoma next month dia the time as for retirement yempese ebeti ne change bia ne GBC fo nso omani nche ho staff ne management no minim say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama all research o man Ghana e obetu saa na mo no papa no retirement so next month obeko fi asum dreamle na omahwede ni pafofra aba we say niam bi koso GBC enso ani na mwa wekesiri chese o mo welfare ni niam bi o ha enso ani me kra me shock dey GBC so na course kra ye hu so mu twae Eyensemebre ti GBC Ghana Broadcasting Corporation eniama mkwaye oho nyame ya adom na papa no ne time so next month on retire kama na mpanifo nhwe mumfa board foforo mbra no munye adwuma mumpem director general foforo ma GBC na GBC nya asomdwe new law yentumi ma director general dada na MPP fo ne ba ye edin sembebre wokọ ho a wo mo welfare staff isu sembebre koso GBC yempese esibium because Ghana Broadcasting Corporation nim dadan asesa enyama atete apansan NDC ba na GBC etumi afa no ntuma pefra nti ye research GBC so director general momompe baby fa ne time so next month Professor Amin Alasan why ade na wape baby afa na obi foforo so aba na bibi etumi akonkan nti ede eteno no enche kukudam ne beji nkonya na yebedi nkomo yewo Alhaji Amadu Abukari Sogo former member of parliament di Madina o ha saaso na ewe nua Chris Dugan so ha Chris Dugan ye corporate affairs or National Lottery Authority ono so ha no behwa wa boni fufuo pa easy enti yebedi nkomo but ansa na yebedi nkomo no ma yenje enkrato we embresesia.
I did not say I was going to shut down radio stations. What I said is that there are infractions. In fact, in the immediate instance I would reference, I ordered the shutdown of 1 and the revocation of 6 licenses. I shut down, I directed the NCA to immediately take action to shut down a radio station in the Boku area, Guma FM. Now that again, I exercised extreme caution. We all know what's going on in Boku. When I got the request from state security, I said to them that until I saw a certain process, I will not act. And so we acted in good faith. There was a RegSec meeting at the Regional Coordinating Council. where all stakeholders were present. Their report was filed. That was sent to the Ministry of Local Government, forwarded to the Ministry of Interior, and it came to us. In the 10 days when I failed to act in court because I was waiting to follow due process, 7 people were killed. And so there is actually a cost associated at times with not acting expeditiously. But because we wanted to be minded by the law, we went through the process. And so that station had its license revoked because it wasn't the first time. The previous government had actually suspended their license. They had signed a bond to be of good behavior, and then they had been reinstated, and then they had gone back to do the same, and was posing risk to our men and women in uniform who are serving in Boko, and will continue to protect them. The other 6 stations had varying degrees of infractions, paperwork, fees, and so I have not revoked those licenses. I've suspended those licenses. There's a difference between the two. What happened previously was a revocation of licenses. This one we're suspending. And we're giving you the opportunity to come and remedy the situation. If you have to submit your tax clearance, bring your tax clearance. If you have to pay regulatory fees, come and pay them. And then we will reinstate you. But let me be very clear on one thing. The Justice Dateba ruling on the Radio Gold case has made it clear that if you allow your license to lapse, even if you were my blood brother, I will not be able to renew your license for you. The Dateba ruling is clear that you cannot, radio frequency authorizations are not like driver's license. If the license lapses, you don't have anything again to renew. And now the NTA has commenced serving notices 6 months before the expiration of your license, notifying you, because you need to indicate by law 3 months to the expiration that you will renew your license. They remind you 6 months, they remind you 3 months, and remind you in the week of its termination or expiry, and you still don't go to renew. You can't blame anybody when you come for a renewal and we tell you that there is nothing to renew. The law is the law. We'll comply with the law. So please, again, all media houses, ensure that you comply with the renewal regulations of the NCA. So be rest assured, we are not going to shut down arbitrarily. In fact, there's about what? DG, 50, the outstanding ones, there's about 53, eh? About 53 in different categories. I still haven't acted, not because we have not concluded the audit, but I've taken my time to engage Media Foundation for West Africa and put the evidence before them. The next step for me is to go to Parliament, put the evidence before Parliament itself, before announcing the suspensions. And when I announce the suspensions, we will give them a time frame within which they can restore, they can rectify and cure the anomalies, and we would reinstate those licenses. There has to be discipline. You would agree with me. If your media house is paying all of its fees and submitting all of its documents, I don't think it's fair to you that someone else would sit back and not do what they ought to do, and we say that because of media freedoms, everybody, then next year you won't do, because then everybody will say media freedom. There needs to be some level of discipline.
Enti ora Sam Nete George, Minister in charge of communication onona and their press briefing na oye anamuntu ani ministry etu afino ode ensemine bi atudano make say kukudam na jinkodwa atena so former member of parliament the Mamadina Alaji Amadu Bukari Sorugo agina kunya saso na ewo ye big brother Chris Dugan ye director of communication affairs odema NLA or ha enti ono so ye neno ebedi enkomo this year the boss ne shebra asesa akakakra shebra na asesa ncho title na asesa portfolio na santi eno de
kasemo ba
sikane de nyame be ma ba
hard work pays.
That's it.
In fact, we even deserve more better.
Oh, na ejuma bebra wa ye de we nya we ya na de nti menim say munna so mu bebo ama ya reset on my Ghana nti mama Alaji Sorogo Akwaba na me wi amako ura Christo Ganso ho Alaji Akwaba.
Yeah, I mean,
and I say why e kakra
because seriously speaking
don't feel fine now.
Fine it dear me feel but me trust it say my partner me started Thursday class. Abi biara otu me fo fighting na ye ko banyina we dedicated to the party, to the state, to the government. We are so knowledgeable, we are committed. Ne menene kasaya just 3 days later. Na mate say we free. I'm talking about His Excellency Ambassador Sampi Ali. I told me so when him say just about 3 weeks ago na me ba ekonya nkwanhia dendende owu ye accident mu omunum ni nyina wu ya me ko sie no e wodwa so me be ye adoa last week Friday na as if that one is not a year ye nina mu na asabe pie say ambassador e frame me exactly 9:30 to 10 say obra penyin no ko na me bra be say ambassador piale okoda be o sisia na me de we nyina toto na me hwe Ghana adwuma da yanim na sabe mpredu asa MPP for some of them nkwasi asema omo ye ni jimi na ha me dwene nwa me say kura ye nyina ya hu mo time koke ni ye nchimpo because mo ana mo ka ho bi ene nyame adaroma JDM ba ye why too strong big catches and they will be who say yes na say senya dia moye de na obitimi sorry keke edwene Akwaba no na ode mami ana se
Akwaba na me dey mo o ta so dia member director of communications
ni ameka nyina ni se anye ekura no nyame adaroma ya frɛ nyame ya bibia omomoda so ya chiriwia a friend no 6 days na we are it is why chiriwia for so many months no 1000 months no yego so but be yam kwa yemro Ghana if is any ama ekoyie
okay
do ma kwa ba mate ya jobia so ene ya mabusu afo ni nyina ya akọ Ghana fo nyina ya akọ minim say say they were ato His Excellency Jerry John Rowley Jerry John Draman Mama attorney ne super na the whole pro forum the whole NDC secretariat na atom super na yebema mu nyina ya akọ na Medina Fonso a ochena ombeko vetting ochena ombeko vetting for the MCs no won't prepare here because seriously speaking me if I had my own way
Medina wa
if I had my own way anthrophobic wa okra ni senka ye shortlist to omukra but enya me na me wo me kwai na omo nso nim kwankro omo fa so a omo de omo because sabe preduasa wontimi enura enkonko stable NDC stable mi soroga metie o stable me say because we say we contest ya we nya no be independent tia me na me lose party no de mrato wono obomra na twene ne ye kwa kope obi obegina party na nimu a say ndisi anweni a kasabe ye be kwa konya BBC appoint to SMC you know but I don't know what it takes in for
correct
in himself general mosquito in himself general
Dr. Valerie sorry I mean now
Dr. Valerie sorry avocat ewo ho ye nimsem ya me bra MP Bejra eka ho bi na mumu ono so eka ho bi enti ye beja ma omo but menua ye nhwe ni ye na ye mfa ni papa no se na be ya ochina Medina betimi afa ntuma pefra
Yo, former member of Parliament, Madina, na Yatin Kaye Sanso Fred Madina father, Alaji Amadou Bukari Sorogo. Mamen call Mr. Chris Dugan, a director of a corporate communication, the National Lottery Authority. Director, Bibia Boko, dear.
Boko,
NLA, Bibia CD.
NLA Boko.
Yeah, they are miasi.
The reset agenda near the Adruho.
Correct.
His Excellency the President in your mistake. Say, or reset to a minor, and he's resetting the various state agencies along.
Sanity.
Until the Quania will be done as it. So on her a Kaya Bimo. Ejuma din ayaye. Say yanko hono yanko bwane reset them.
Na wudi
me bonfire say me yam panifo. Obiti say Honorable Surugo, former member of Parliament. I think he deserves better. And I want to appeal to the leadership of our great party. Say panifo say no. Ye ejumadia omuye no kurampo tunchaya. We need them in this. We need to tap on their experience. Na ye dia ye ejuma. Hwe nanu ya o. Minkaye nyina ya o. Nyamfa ne kransi. One of our strong pillars. Honorable Ambassador Sampiali.
Oh.
Ekwajaye. Papa no enim die kase a wodo ko ne experience a wodo ko jaye no enya de a wosusu ho a ebeyi na nyami ekutade a there is nothing you can do. You cannot challenge the decision of God. Nti yegidi se nyami pe na waye na won fa ne kra ansi na da kwama ye wogidi se besa hia nti empanyufo na omo wo ho a omo gya adwuma ne ye. Look at him, how he has served this party.
Oh, don't worry.
Maybe
on the time. Maybe on the time. Inshallah.
Let us don't.
Maybe on the time.
Forget
His Excellency. I don't think they have forgotten.
And I know President Mama.
The Chief of Staff in the microphone.
I think at the right time, everything will work out and everybody will be on board.
Okay, and ye sha sedia na ye hwe alleged drug trafficking activities in ensema ni na baba ba ye hwe nde mukupi Reverend Fear ye hu se MPP supporters ni members of parliament nso ekogo so mo makwan mu ensema aba Reverend team fodo ensensemi mami sha so
quick one me cause asam no because asam a da hwa ya bobo ho ye be win ne Honorable something in a see nene besi.
Okay.
After tomorrow na krebe dedi. Honorable Kasambi. And then call for president per me DC, per se me say. NDC ni power. Ko baba per DC. I mean, so those in charge, the national chairman, the local government minister, chief of staff, ye Jimudi, we don't doubt your competence. Because you ejuma obi aye part we mo me ti we or that the other no atia me e wo me constituency totally sangulu me ti we ni DC wo ho your sister district e Zabzugu na no ye Zabzugu for the ye de mu nyan ye adaya enti ase enema kitikiti bi nkofo bi a mu mfata a mu nya ejuma ebi mo mu ndwe party ho ebi mu kura po an ye fo akuta na nti na odwun ho na etwe nyina atwe say look adia MPP for be year krom ha 8 good years no nya deketo we have no time to waste baby a osuna da che no ebeche ense na nwura afu ho nti omo fi say enya party ni na edwunu ho enya mama nyini party ni government ni nyinche na omo dwunu ho eye yenti na edwunu ho I want to appeal to the leadership say yenhwe na yentie na party for eka enya na individual bika enya na chairman bika enya na secretary bika na party for dodo eka enya na ahimfo more importantly the chiefs. I'm not saying we should undermine the chiefs, but we shouldn't over-listen to the chiefs. These chiefs were not campaigning for us. 2024 your campaigner we were not going to the ground with the chiefs. I can tell you that I know some of the chiefs. Minimum for now we are MPP for today those chiefs are leading the have taken the lead to tell us when they are the chief said they need this one. The chief said they need this one. And we are aspirant. Now we do echo chiefs no ho. Na chiefs ni dey ni ma wa wo dey nim say wa lose that make Christmas support to na support to China. Chiefs cannot decide who become the NDC-DC. Chiefs cannot decide. Ahimfo and to me decide who should be the DCE, especially Tatale Sangule. Chiefs cannot decide who should be the DCE of Tatale Sangule. We are not going to allow that to happen. It will happen. We are building a party. And then your co-positioner, these chiefs will not see them. When we're struggling and fighting to recapture power, where were they? Where were they?
Maybe they were supporting you morally and physically.
Where were these chiefs?
And spiritually.
And the kind of work we did. Correct. I think honorable in team for Joe. Mati say MPP for kwa guni fie minu kase
was sprinters.
It was sprinters. Adaya and before ever exercise your right, their legitimate right, duty. Enti omo kwa kogu ho. My brother, with all due respect. Honorable, I think the stupidity of MPP is now global. The stupidity of MPP is global. Say, Obia Dintro, Agua Benso. Brenna Bayano. Asamwe tia. He who alleges must prove. This is a fundamental principle. Who allege bibia prove. Sa word when I present Kufo Chopia na wo winu krum ha say who allege come and prove. I remember when President Kufo was accused of corruption by the vulnerable Kwesi Pratt. Satan Wamasia for national security led by one Francis Opoku. I invite him to say one by provincial Musa Kufo where you corrupt. And someone what kind of yano. Omuni who dance here. He should come and assist them with investigation. Now who Osofu Mako. So far we didn't throw. What so far we can somewhere any babu mu. Say abay drugs, abay money laundry. So for Bible brand, then din since and someone who can who what dance here then try na ye investigation. Have a who dwane. Who say we kaya bako, kaya run who have no dwane. It tells you that these are pathological liars. They lie their way in opposition. Na mama you say NDC 4 you say and came to power 2016 2017 at the minimum 8 years Ghana for hunye baby a omudi free na baby omudi bedru aniti Ghana for nya opportunity 7 December no 2024 no ya pamo mu ya okrum ha ya pamu ya woko via wo se mun kama nu ntum entro nam de be ya adwuma. If this is not stupidity, what is it? Neti I say the stupidity of MPP is global. No, no. If this is not stupidity, what is it? Ghanaians have punished you people because of lies. Etro kontompune dabraba ko hisamunti na yeto abati amu ya. Mu repent ye. And now crap the atofu for na take lead. We cannot live in a country that the so-called men of God, pastors, taking the lead of lies, and you expect them to keep quiet. That is not how we reset a country. The lawful arrest now end up before Kwayano, and one of the examples of John Mama resetting agenda. The resetting agenda of President John Dramani Mahama and NDC, they say, you cannot lie on this government and walk free. You cannot. Saba Jim Brenner Achomo NCBO. Say it's Kroma 2015, 2016. People lie through their teeth. Nna Mama Todai Ewo Dubai. Ibrahim Mama got the golden in Yadiamano. Then we sit down and allow them to go the same tangent. It will not happen again. Nanu someone kasi amuka ne esi mudintro. Musi namu wahu engine so. You the minimum 8 years. You couldn't prove. You couldn't prove. Ya pa mama befia instead of you to think, rethink. No more started in trouble. You see, be here no. We see be them China. You have unemployed militants. Now supporters now mugu okwa. Omunu hu na yem mbobo. Some MPP supported them. Misa ade chinye do mu didi ya mu nim ya ombedi. Sikan kofu webe fum krom ha 8 good years. Wunu wu dia wunya asan. Wunya asan. Look, Kontompuni cha by 4. Kontompuni cha by 4. Every liar is a criminal. A liar is a criminal. Why do you see? It's so embarrassing that a political party wababa rule my 8 years. Ya pamufra bensono and within 3 years you gather yourself to go and defend a criminal. You are defending a criminal. Say, wapa omupa omu yedan until Ford will be arrested. Read my lips. We want me confidence from my boss. One Abu Felu Futukwati. I have confidence in him. That man don't communicate by heart. He communicates with facts. Until Ford will not be a free man until he answer questions. Until Ford will answer questions in this country. We'll bring him out. You lied. Instead of you to be humble enough to say that, oh, my didn't try to abandon so. As someone mekano. Yet you have been arrogant trying to defend your lies. And look, they are very unintelligent. And I understand why we are at where we are. When you say MPP does not understand the difference between intel, intel, and suspicion. This is simple, basic. Miamiba Kimati, he understand the difference between suspicion and intel. We were intel about something now. Not to say, Nyawukutano are facts. When you are going, you go all out to execute your plans because intel now Ukutani church are there we are and your suspicion. Ampo say you the suspicion at your press conference. And people for bo to say kura munti ase mu expose me ignorance no. Suspicion, then you get the media. Who will entertain this? You think we are going to entertain this nonsense? Ghana is a serious country. Is that how we run a country? No wonder Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia atiti Ghana a pensam no. Because if you have people who believe that who suspect BBI was say we have a press conference. It's time to have the govern. Governance is serious business. President Mama is raising the bar. President Mama ever raise the bar no. Until sa empty talks no. See. So biya sorry ni fie. Now what did ya me anunsuo and bisect his mouth to about 90 degrees Celsius. Now what kasa by heart without facts no. See NCBU. I am telling you. We are in 2025. They should come along. MPP must come along. We are in 2025. Yet to meet na Krohama MP. Now look, you this in team for do. Also for our didn't you were fraudulently elected. That man. You don't even think about how you came into parliament. Until Ford was fraudulently elected. Yeah, Bimuno. Asamno, Yadabu said, but home court. And then was in South. As South, meaning he was fraudulently elected. And then won't do home. If you want to make a name, is that how we make name? You want to make them through lies? And you have such a person, a deputy education minister, such a sensitive ministry. Contemporary education, so. Whether he likes it or not.
Okay.
Look, until Ford will be arrested.
But I'll say, Mr. Chris Dugan, Mamenko Elaji Avadi Sirigoso. Okay, my answer na yebeko Alaji hono. Muma yenti Monabo Dominic Nitu. No so nensembi or the two jabra or call in team for the fee answer Alaji Atuya Swama. Yenti Mbra.
Let me be frank. I am almost certain 100% that the Minister for Defense will not know this type of operation that they are going to do. Normally, once you get a court warrant, they don't have a court warrant, but we asked them, they didn't have a court warrant. The security persons who came here, they didn't have a court warrant. They said that the faces of the senior officers is a court warrant by itself, which obviously is not granted in any law. So they didn't have a court warrant. And then they came to come and pick him by force. And that is why we are saying no. The Speaker has given a directive that, look, if you want to engage a member of Parliament, arrest a member of Parliament, come to Parliament, interrogate him. If he has committed a crime, he will be arrested. We don't have a problem with that. In fact, they have engaged no less than 3 members of Parliament from our side. Or do you understand what I'm trying to say? They've engaged our members. They've engaged our members, and 2 more will be engaged on the 7th. So I'm not too sure why they are doing what they are doing. It's a very simple thing. The man says that, look, I have evidence, I have information that 2 aircrafts came, and I believe that those aircrafts may have carried something contraband, which is not good enough. He never accused any government official. He never accused the NDC party. I'm very shocked that the government is so defensive. It happened during our time. A suspicious aircraft came. The NDC raised that they believe that carried drugs. What we did was we set up a committee to investigate. We didn't go arresting the people who raised it. It came. 2 aircrafts came. The same thing he's doing, the same thing happened. We didn't go out there to arrest anybody. We didn't go out there to say that because you gave us information. We set up a committee and led to serious reforms. That look, when an aircraft is coming, for example, and our airspace, the Air Force should be part of it, and the soldiers should all be part. So I don't know why the government is fidgeting. I don't know why the government is worried and is on a defensive mode. They didn't need to go back and read the statement whether the gentleman, the MP attacked government. No. Whether he attacked the NDC. No. So I don't know why they are fidgeting and they are worried about.
Enti Monobo Dominic Nitu on attending come on bro so Alaja Madu Sorogo.
Let me maybe start it from down, but let me just answer Dominic Nitu. I am one pass was who nimnienti abana you worried. I am one say as a former defense minister of Bekasa. Say who so suspected country say krono ne di cocaine famwa. Sa krono ana krono sika yakwa ko wi akose baabi no yeso ade be famwa. Botan adia nsunsanso e wo masa krono woni ti wu ka kire say wonim ne enti e wasa aba ne ye worried say ye ba be tag kukuro say kuro we say cocaine e di na mu kuro we say wo ko wi sika na odi ko she baabi a aha na obetim ni sika na be fa wonya worried ya wonya worried because you are not worried for Ghanaians, but this is NDC and MPP no power. MPP no power, he will not be worried because Ajuma MPP
until we are some British High Commission the two ja.
Yeah.
We 28 June 2022.
Okay.
Ghana identified as a transit country.
Exactly.
For drug trafficking.
And
that time na meet you on the defense minister.
On the defense minister.
That's what we're doing.
Saying Hanwa.
British High Commission the two sides.
British High Commission. And yes, more things. So BB British High Commission the BB tour on behalf of the entire Western world, including America. One more country at your time when they say Otamono, cocaine, and Ghana have transit. And no na opa na yen sanu na opa we ye din a yen NDC under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama MP, because under His Excellency JDM no say 0 tolerance for cocaine this anyamanya say befa. And you know, we are worried. The government should be worried because there's only one government. Say Oru Ghana. There's only one president, and there's only one party. And there's onukas one tia sie nientia abano ehanwa and ya mechana sie say aban we responsible government aban ya want nasi ama Ghana yamfa yanim paper form want nasi ma yanka say Ghana aye baby edi numode fa anya sa MPP time no one investigate but even though say we say under normal circumstances kabaka so so we report wa for come we no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama I can say on fan to form was set committee na committee no anamebwa now let's go back say we nyina hi ne friba in the first place no plane tour me pacho and anaju and a belandi ya na say we are na belandi ye masa me pacho say opese wo smuggle cocaine na say ya buying the woman be a war ya obema plane na ba betena tarmac for 5 days no and let me free sister station no pay me bisa akwasu amanu me say me pacho na host no me pacho say obi di bonia obaba say obi person obeba okro no a obaba abeka cho say me beba okro no in 5 days time no wa ma waso aba what draw attention na obaba can say planes na ba ya no I di cocaine ba ya na ba be fa cocaine wo mo di akofra say cocaine na MPP 4 time akufo do time wo mantimi anchi wo mo because no mo na di akotene no NDC ba ye 3 months ya chinkrofo wo mo try ba ku ya 150 million worth ba ku ya 350 million worth nkrofo mo fa cocaine di akọ MPP 4 ya say hey yatimi achi wo mo na yenye time mfie nwotwe yantimi anchi sanya sa ebeye den masa we are ranking member for defense and interior me bwana
sanity
we are obia officer of Ghana ana wo see intel to send your ne kan ye no masa wo kan hasia was a minority raises alarm over 2 flights suspected to be carrying cocaine and cash. The minority in parliament has raised concerns over what they say are the suspicious flights that landed in Ghana in March. According to them, when addressing a press conference, the question is, so your mambapa, now we are ranking member, and you say be at the committee in amity, no matter take a decision. So we take a decision, and you know your spokesperson for the committee. And to acquire and start was he's speaking on behalf of the committee. And the committee in Back said, Chairman, hey, Massa, the Benny Shia was now I'm speaking on behalf of the minority caucus. I hope who say, no, Papa, no. And your baby or Makwa Quatransi, I didn't want to so actual Samasa. Say, Niaman Econo, I feel no marking. Never marking, no about Tamai, ECG. ECG Nansembe na ekoso airtime MPP Frankasa crab wafu say containers ECG niama wuma ye ma cables meters
in that 3 days you could be on Miami Chrome Takrade Takrade cancer road
Kekaba
good bush when containers
enti MPP time at a time wa yenya meters at a time when here cables I stand electricity akọ amaya mine ama businesses arrive at Timiakoso. At the time a youth
cancer road the end no know.
Yes. At the time a youth unemployment
cancer road.
Youth unemployment akosoro.
Francis Cameron the crew.
You hear say adwuma be koso mama bunanya adwuma ye. At a time where a person electricity ye dey ko na adwuma nkitikiti ma ba wa ma ye adwuma no. MPP 4,347 containers or 48 containers. Yen hu baby afa. Ade nan say we. Anya say cables so. Anya cables are a proper cables. A big crowd on the box to meters.
Look at it.
Millions and millions of dollars. Masa ye chin wo baby a big crowd north. E bi across the border mpo. Na se wo wenum nyina no wo mahu sa ban no popularity na eba no interest is come from bibia koyie cities no are stabilizing with the dollar ama say kurato be atimi je unemployment 24-hour economy so ama some of the institutions that ashasi kura so omo ye feed Ghana sugar cane factory Ghana a start here for ntuma pe fra nti no I was here pe kwan ya ye de be ye na ye de be divert attention nti and that is where the MPP is good at yan konko fa bibia ebe ye na Ghana fo nyina be sorry so you be papa na say who suspect who say intel kyerɛ sɛ who information kyerɛ sɛ nokure who proper information kyerɛ sɛ nokure intel masa ahin na wosa woko national security for ho nakok wo ho edende wo ho biena wo ho wo nyina police ade wo ho adenti na wuntimi nkɔ antwuro nkɔmɔ mo sɛ me suspect say ni nemom wodi to ho so sɛ wo ba be press conference Ken, Tiasma Mekano. Press conference, you're limited to only Ghanaians. Press conference, the whole international press in Abeba. Don't be picky because more reps were her. Oh, Tongama, the whole world. Adia one casa unya sure. I will see what Kizu will be a name, Momuno. Who intel, credible intel, say. Prince Nabano, you can reach our wunty, a babes said the cocaine, and a befako. Edisika ankrofo wia ena ediba wantimi anka nchiro bia who decided so be press conference edie na ba wadwunim so ba press conference no we ye no ena ye president a want to say mo president wonye clearing agent obi aba no a clear no say hey asem we dia me fanto form me set up committee mo aye wo moduma aye mo said say mo hwe na say dubone ne ma no munyi munipa na emom nyame ntaade yenye obia woye mamba ni papa in the name of Reverend Intim Fodwo si wono credible information inti munlieze wono no wono nkyeremo na munyina momra se ne be ya Ghana yemma kwan na sa dubone wema e de na nka efasi ni sei wo se aframi a menko ye invite me a menya hwe nyame dia tudwa no mo am nkonko am investigation Ghana nso de yenya French speaking country wo a wo be allege no say ni na ye no wo na o yeden wo na wa prove enye se obi a me kwa enye se nko obi a besimi asori no ba ken kura we say ni we kromfo wontimi nko kasa ken ye kromfo wo kasa ken ye kromfo a wo be kire ehin no koba okro no edie no owi a ye police ni ba na chi no law ba na de ni fa so wo prove say ni be say wa prove and you cannot just say it and go away and me dem hunu ba ko pani say na Intim Fodwo nim sa asem ne be dane say wa nwene huda sensem a wo ka no edin sem kese na eba to the point say yes one waka dia bra beboa say na be ya betimi I decide you free wo ene Ghana Airport Company wo mo de wo mo letter ba aba kire bibia airport no eye Ghana Airport Company ene yo mo dia civil aviation wo mo planes na ekoba route no safety ni akaka ene wo mo hwe so wo mo say ade no eba ye no enti say ni nkrofo na nkasa med air for no aba out chinchin won say ade na di wa wie na wo hwehwe enye ye no say wo twro letter aka ma embassies diplomats say wo mo mebo na mo hwehwem o mam boni be na sini sa de we chesa mo time no Ghana din say nti say na mo free so na say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ba na say Ghana din no apagya de a wo say mo pe kwankro mo de be fa so a e de sa de no e be brase na ye ne mo akwa ye baako. Apart from that no I don't see anything. Also I was Felix can say me pa cho Felix beka say no Felix can say President John Dramani Mahama committee na was CNT investigation or CNT no what can say president is what twemu ana one kaso wetwem enti no say Felix abeka sa na communication for no na anka ni ye masa pam no otwa no ni nyina ne say macho we see what who credible information who intel we see the sika cocaine aba we see the way aba we so kronu bi na ekoso play ne betra ye no coincidental and then we 2 year we nso 2 year ni e ka nyina wo ntiase wo se and then crowd dem amena mni ko sia no wo se plane to call soro no portu obi wo ho na ni nanu ko to mu na ta pa ya na plane ko soro a head and ta say you can see say adwina o mo dwene no masa ayadwini bi a emfaso kiti enni so de magana wo makọ hye wo mu na wo mahu say the way ani ameko no ya nyansam anka magana fo nyina ani amfiri saa kronu a ya bonu electricity na ya chie no enti yampe bibi nka. That's the only reason. Number one. Number two, me so pretty serious say emra da MPP 40 so no mo the ambulance no atwi cocaine.
Omunim plane enda da.
Masa because me maintenance ya adwene say eba ye den mi soruga mituyi na ambulance wona me wiem
ambulance
na me makwa akwadwene say sa ambulance no ba ba so cocaine ene sika ne gum se me nya bi da yem probu ni yie pa MPP for wo mu dianu o mu di wi cocaine edi kono enu bi na ene wo mu fi say NDC for nso ye masa nti no nientim fodwo koye ni nyina no eyade a ebo man eyade a edi man ekofom so wo ye ranking member who wield some power we wield some power that's what me ko gina wo want me ankoto say bia ministry nini ana wo chairman kura chairman onim bibia pure politics
okay
diversionary tactics yan kan ye be ya Ghana for you be free eniama ekoso boni ya di no ye nyina ya pa ya chie no ye mpe bibia beka na se ka we wie na so mbeta ata ya nya oma ya ka se ya nka ntata nkwa no mo ye enti minua pam no twa no ya ba ko pe mo na makwa ko tu mamana ana mamuna no munim the data amotu ni asem mra na mo mekire kwankura e be fa so e be si no we asem be ne wo asem kase bia nim enti MPP for ye ya omo ye ane no masa ise se no kra na ya crime aya crime niti wujina wo kan say wo mu ni bench warrant bia I don't have any problem so omo ko MPP time there were so many almost stop wo even in the car no ma twesi form wo mo arresting Crawford just for saying things are woman fi say enu woman ebobra nti ene sakoba say ade onkoi speaker amakwan was the speaker amakwan say there's a way yetimidi here masa can you fight the security agencies onko keke no onko yina no ana say won twinsan anka so opa chow Ghana fo nyina mepam chow na menim say na beba ma hwetwe mu yie ma ye bone mu mfa ncheme ensi sa biom na won two MPP forfo say me yene mu nanam mu hwe yie na ochina sa de na amba me no ka say obi send me message was here friend no Lucky Sobo was say men kan jo so chia opa o adenta Ghana e bo
na me live
na wa ula mu a o mu nyina ho mu se o mu chia opa ni adwuma pa wo ye na me chia mi angasa me nua kuma Mugabe and no ba yanke be we mu se pa
but okodi dwuma bi wote ya
o fe na me dey mo report to
ya report kama pa nti be da se ma menko ora Chris Dugan ho biom na yenhwe eye Galamsey matters ne deportation of foreigners Galamsey sensemi yenchiwe
Galamsey ni dia I think President Mama has shown the way that aban we know sa Galamsey in some na dia be suso sukura ko enya Galamsey aban NDC aban enya Galamsey aban ena enya drug aban enya money laundry intimidate I don't shift goalposts I don't shift my position because I believe in a principle and I have a principle that we must always fight against crime and crime is crime. Adia MP kwaye osofo awodin tro.
Uso osofo de.
Osofo mako
so aso.
Ni okoye no. Chense wo chen obi a woni Galamsey ye pe. Yes.
Eni na kosi.
Adia entim fodo ni suba ene galamsey ya eyepe obi a woni adwumpa emome ene ye galamsey obi a wo se opese wo say the image of our country ene ye galamsey but my brother Nico say ka galamsey asama unko grounds ho a you may think it's something that we are just fabricating. But a serious matter. Galamsey is a national security threat. A threat man in I am kwa. But you see, Obiba says a dena ebedrusi. I kept saying, say, apart from famine, one of the oldest occupational was in Kofor Muye, mining. Apart from farming. Obianwa what say by mining Krumha. Namwoji de say President Mama ne NDC by yentia mining ewo Krumha. So person we are mining now, you do it responsibly. Sir, illegal way. Say before Kwambianso and mining at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian. Just because ne ubanyantino. That will not happen. That will not happen. Ganam say many. And meeting I say Mama Ba Obaji Afrimu. And I'm happy the way President Mama is approaching the Galamsey fight. First time I had to say on Mampani through the chief of staff. I released a publication say, so we are why. Say Anyaba say Galamsey some who come huna echua in Mrendi. This is the difference. You are a journalist. Yeah. I am not. And for that matter, you are privy to a lot of information. Many are privy to. I want you to, if so, what to be named Tibia, would you catch them? Mama, remember what is a party aparachiki big or Jina baby say party here's car. And Tia Galamsey. One who say NDC, party executive be, government appointee be, tomorrow he showed that. Arrogantly displaying Galamsey gold now they are there with impunity.
3 months who be that
display near Juma. People are disciplined. Now no media some social media langars.
MPP.
MPP social media langars. Omwatina komu yesisu omo a omu njuru hu say yesisu omo no. Every day yeba funu musa omu de di echiri. Edi to say Minister of Interior aya wana bumu ntaka say foreigners ni echiwa ye be deportu no omunti asese ye be chi foreigner na ye deport no. You see a common sense na me hu MPP for akrachi for bi so eba na omu say asemo minister ne kan no wanka ni yi na ti say aban nya ready so oba fight Galamsey me tie omo anam say anti we mu na ya akrachi for no suku mpepa jimi ampa suku epepa jimi akomu nkansa mu amuka abense michiwa we are foreign national me deportu to make sure say we na nsi here bi we say no nti ase yemfa no kotum na edi no kotum a yemfa no ntum for life ye ni fru a once anko. Apart from that, what is the difference say ye punishing the pan wo krum ha ene ye de ni ko no krum amambo no mu nti ase o say wo do bi kotum a wo ba sa afidi no. This government in wisdom say obi a criminal a wo fro obi man so ebe say assassin yansu na machi no na masade na kotum asa hwe na aka ho de nyasanim anti michi wa wo ba ko krom na mayane in a sense we na nsi ha biu. That is the way to go. We dey mu say da ye chiwa yɛmfa wontum no mu si so no mu ba gina tada amammo no so ATS no foreigners no did say na mu do mu to mu. If you know how to do it and you can do better, you the man who you anything. You want Asha one cramp no. Senior Minister Bakacha says, "I'm a they were untouchable." Ghana dimisaka no enye ya pabisi enye biu.
Non kai se omo power. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ni omo former general secretary mde bu ko jeje sika ho. Na me ba. Otrofo no. Okotompu no. John Boy. Otrofo no. Ah, ko anim. The liar. Say ya wo krom ho. Say na wo kae no. Mu na mutimi ko Chinese for okutako eyalala sulala. Express sika wo krom ha. Na mu sika sika no mu se mu ba aban ma on be yeden. Mama aban papa ba. Aban what doing Ghana for who? Aban Ghana for do a make ruga me ne family ka ho bi. Ye campaign a yekoto abama ne say won bedi aso e de na ma atu yi ye foreigners anya foreigners in Ghana foreigners amu yo mo adwin say galamsey enti no mo ba na ye mu furu we are flashing all of them out we see won ti ase enti sa nipa no unya mambofo a we ye dan we mambofo so far ye nim say galamsey kuno enya de a just one day job. And I keep saying, say, and Wura, baby, Osuno, Ada, Amana Chan was sorry, I bet you answer than Wura for her. Sanity. Quaya move fast, or manipulative system, no, to allow party apparatchikis, Ebaya Galamseyes, Galamsey Kimpins, you employ comfort, yes, I Galamsey contracts, even outside this country, no. Let's not expect that President Mama is going to use just one day. It has to take time with the strategic plans awarded to her and the support of the security agencies and various regional ministers and this chief executive to fight this canker. Yeah, what Kroma and Bakacha say that then our no Haji Alima, former local government minister, Bakacha say MMDCs are now Akufado MMDCs. Muwa or coastal areas no. Obunyina no mu ya Galamseyes. And then what to be that? And then what to say? We a government appointee. Now ya who say we do who from Galamsey as someone Ubokufi. President Mama has said this publicly. Ya ka Galamsey fighter. Enye tuo. Enye tuo wudi jina nkofo so kwa na ya Galamsey fight o. Sanitization na ekoso. The name and shame that we are doing, and alone is another way of fighting Galamsey. For 8 good years under corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, have you seen any government appointee openly, bold, condemning Galamsey? Who condemn Galamsey? Obeda akwa wuntumi wako jiska. Who condemn Galamsey? Obeda akwa wuntumi wako jiska. But today, you hear the president, his chief of staff, his ministers boldly condemning Galamsey, threatening to deal with Galamseyers. That shows the goodwill of fighting Galamsey, and we are seeing the results. Minu can say, who come a Mineral Commission, my very good brother and a colleague. Who is director of corporate communications there? Now, what release me will communicate via what to Abonte. So, Omuru Kute Mabunu about over 1,000 plus. Say, Yadumu acquire water gas. Your water bodies, you best spreading coffee all over the country. Maybe a Galamsey, Kofoya Galamsey. Adechi ya those hollow minded small minds of MPs or Muntias here, ya recruiting nipa fia. Combating crime. And I mean say the minds out there, small minds. Combating crime is not about your weight, your size.
They only believe in machoism. Machoism no a cowardness. Who combat crime? The intelligence need to tia you do go through no. And the actually say you are capable of doing it. And the abandon a recruiting mabunu over 1,000. So omunko support to omuben tap information. Who the various places are air hotspots to alert our security agencies to stand firm, support government to fight Galamsey. These are measures that this government has put in place. And to Nicholas, for Galamsey, a President Mama, at the June Papa say, Kwaya obofa to dia obofa ite Galamsey no, obeye. Na waya bi suda. Me do lande wa ha. Tamo anagana force na dum so. This is the man who said, look, what in the presidency had to online say, so what solve doom so we know. Then I don't the man mama will solve it, was solve it so. The records are there.
Oh yes.
We're a history maker, we're a record setter. And you can't take it away from him. Wasaba Mama Ababiu Wase Galamsey na emini uko kumasi a bread nkwa na wunya bread a wudura nyina mo ati wo ho twen free tea na wasa ya manu kwaya within 1 year of his administration ya ni ba hu 1 year nyandru ya hu
and one no
1 year nyandru 3 months ko Galamsey sa ko he water bodies na re changes wo mo na changes in him. I'm here to go to GTV. Those are your GTV. Your son soon na ya disi wana ya bisa say deni won't be kai e bi krampo ya Fanta. Who be obaka say ya Fanta. I'm here to go there and see if I'll see such colors of water again. It doesn't exist. They can't get it anywhere to fetch. That doesn't mean say me say ya wi.
Okay.
Me say direction na ya de kono. It is clear that we are on the right path.
Madasa papa Mr. Christo Ghana yetene kama menko Alaji Amadu Serugo Alaji Galamsey nsemi.
Oh mini.
Yenti.
Yedika Galamsey nsem de yaka me bwana.
Na yebe deport foreigners.
Obi eka so de ne presidency kra
ato
atwaso. Se wantimi answer of what president no ni.
Report so by na backyard cry to be.
Na me kan bai.
Ko we ni.
Sa no no ankasa ne mpa na oda so no kra no ase etu bi ho. Ne mpeso so wonyina na etu bi ho. Ono omo na koba etafre. Ana wonya president bi nso a waka say life threatening anya one person adwuma na obetim dia ye nyinara ye mra together. Na ye nyina anim say fish and I said train coach no said dinya enetimi ni tina dinya enetimi twi coaches no nti president na decide say sabe we say yempe say Ghana na ohwa nyama bibiro wa ide asia yen kama Ghana fo hu so nim say MPP bekono ye cocoa production yen nyina was only around 450,000 metric tons NDC ba bekom handi over JDM handy over the ma Akufo-Addo no. That year ni ekoko enya ya no. Eka 31,000 metric tons ope. Nanka yati 1 million metric tons. Enti na sekura na nsu sekura na baby o wa ekoko mfo no daso ho. The question is say identity MPP buy no after 7 years. Ya ba from out to the point. Say ene yi for threaten say format is a cyanide akoye koko. Omati say enuane nubanya ade ba no yombe check and make sure say koko no sanity ni mu ana to the point say ne koko mfo ni nyina no MPP for da oroma ye twagu en ye to Galamsey unim omo ba omo say community mining was not for the community. Why unim because all the mining the executive of the MPP no was the people omo di animo ohine no kro omo ma no omo na determine e koje ase ne enchama ye ho na omo di bia ko party obi ko party hiska nti sa community man so nim say na ya bra eni hobiom ana wonim yes community mining nyina pamnotwa no home. Number 1. Number 2, MPP lusu ya no. That month na cars on Wabe Parking. Wouldn't the number of mining license premise almost sanye. Bubu hundreds and hundreds. Ya lose where we munko se kuro no mayen. JDM buy was it be that ninyi nara ye twam samani ninyi na obi anye dwuma. Nti anye ye kura no. Baby o se kodru ya no anka ho. Foforo be wa be kan ho da bi. Enu achi. And the minister decided say start fighting mines galamsey no. Anya nipa ba kope. Every MP bia wo mining sector hono. Yeah, I had in so. And to want to conquer kase wo resolve problem no without involving them. Without involving him follow because galamsey site bia ayo hini bia asase. Wo hini bi kro. So you need to involve all of them. Community leaders, opinion leaders, NTN started. Na yen ko mo ni no mo nko kasa. E bi kro no mo nim Bonia Sadi ni Edima Kroi, and ye my baby. Until they decided, led by the minister, FVCT areas are yet degraded so much. Say, water bodies no, I say, and Omokasai, Omunati Asia. And watchi, I hear Kempisco, no Pins, Kempiski. Hotel no, about a month ago, the minister offered a conference. Deba of chiefs and people MPs, you know, the focus was on the members of parliament. Samunyinara kono ye nyina idea mumra together. Me, I was invited because as a former chairman for Mines and Energy, me can be and yeah, this strong laws about ye kuetiano. Woman will say they invited me. I'm a woman free mines, woman be problems or mukum. And a young in a 2 or 4 send a beko and you adopt a common strategy and ye and yet you and yentakwa a ye adwini now what peeling is adina me and one kasa ubrabo or china uchirima entin ye and then obewa koda nan insa bako eyedu obi wo ne nsa ko obi wo ni nan obi wo anye 2.5 na kidney problems liver problems nkwada sabi woman ni nyinara aye from sa mining pollution water pollution and eba into wakasa chemo people tend to understand then you need to back it with laws yeah we nyina no yeah laws say nobody can go into a water body baby enka sorry na sabi previous yakon ram forest yenya ne ye law no ne se da bi kwaye bi wo ho a sa kwaye no mo friend say mfande for mo friend say kwaye yenkom ye wo kwaye yenkom forest
kai bread to say ana yes ana trifon kai be true
okay ye jan wo ho for purposes ye na no ma be jan wo ho no MPP buy na mra no na protect sa kwaye no won be free ho and no program another law said this time you bet me awuram and no man kasa do mo for program and na wuntumi the MPP chairman and no and a man from Bomboatin Professor Bufuye say aden MPP before they kronu say na den mo say kronu mo bo kronu mo say ye chirima ye mama nso so da che o mo meye de maya kwan and no say 70 dey yiwadi person the kokotena say and you know the NDC during our manifesto no na campaign no you decided say ba sa law no ye makwa ma law no ye adwuma say see amika say wo mugu so mo tworo sa law no o say yi free okra wo say yi sa law no e free wo sene be ya obiara ni kwan sa obekom sa kwaya na ye jai sa kwaya no ana nsuo ni bibre efiti ni efi na ko asunafo sa kwaya ni bibre ana yare enuro drugs herbs wo yetimi kopenu ni nyinara ebeka anu na friendsuo ana ye ni ama bibre entini sa kwaya tuo mu ye bebo ho ban anu achi no ana yakachira hifo nyina ene I'm happy say him funankasa bam otumfo se tutu matese ani abre abam ama wawuro ahimfuni bi nkonya wo mna so empaboa wotu omadia so because galamsey no moko ene for the first time matese kuntunkununku ono so ani abre ne ho anan MPP for akwa shares akwa ne ho no ma no mo achem no mo 2 months ofurpenny and matese ono so ani abre nti anye ekura no the change of government na aba no ama obi ani abre say the leader
so resetting
obi a person resetting
correct
because the engine na etwikro no e straight and you ntini masa oba ya be crash o nti the only thing say yenye Ghana e bedru be bia ya boy koko say ya hwe ya ken in the next 5-10 years ya be crash you meanwhile look at it ready season nso timeto sa ama yenya ba bi mfa yetire nto and so enam galamsey nti baby ya jinsuo no boano na machine triti ni edi koye nsukro bia amanfo no no anwia na sino to the point say nsuo no to de begumu a nsuo no nya tipe bosomi na ni nyina we first na nkanya sa na tie enti no wenum nyina na ban na ni abre Ghana fo nyina ni abre emabunu na sori agina ho kokofo fama sori agina ho say ye be support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na sa kun ya wo kun eye kun ama yen eye kun ama china ema kun ama ochinachi nti the president has taken the first step, the ministers have followed. Every other Ghanaian, I was saying, you and it's a good thing. When we now call, I saw the foreign son in Amu, Sabia, acquired in Dimbabia, now soldier for, police for, to send your canoe, water guide for a train or more, our Mberensiono, Nianco Polutuno, laws no so, I was a loss no, Yadiachuba. Without this, no, I can only say 98%. For His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 98%.
Mena alaja amadu suruga si tutu Safari Valley Eco Resource in control say bre na bibia obeda ma obedi local na continental dishes oben your private swimming pool dan ahru wo mu be hum wo be zebra antelopes ni ade ni na bi ho wudura wankasa we me bedi ye papa pam from pa na beba fa ho for reservation for Safari Valley Eco Resort was 0596 9143 94 Kai say omo eye okri this street wo eye mountains equiapim here so na Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center almost say yen control so mo the Medimoses garlic capsules abedraman so and say improve blood circulation obi also mensan me nan ayetititi ebo ho ban e boost immune system no na etumi bo ye papa Medimoses Clinic de prostate disorder so na sexual weakness bema no ba away problem diabetes and sciatica typhoid fever malaria stroke STI sine hawa make am for Medimoses clinic de amount Adenta Barry opposite the police station, Sasuna AESL building inside Ghana Highways Authority Yard, Accra Ministries, Ajay Kojo opposite School for the Deaf, Sasuna Kumase, Ahimai Kokobin Santasi Obuase Kwaniso, 0244 068447, Sasuna X Natural Mineral Water, Winye Binumia Pibinum, Nayinsa Muda Hokrojane, ye wo 350 ml, ye wo 500 ml, ne wo 750 ml, X Natural Mineral Water, Winye Binumebe Boy, ye Papa Pope to do it to Akotoma, Fre 0596 273546 and 0596 273547 X Natural Mineral Water simply natural Victory Garlic Mixture na medruswo obi ho anakoma bon pepe wa wonse wakoma hawa esi etono abnormal wonsa no na etititi woni so ayekusukusu ebo mo mboje ni die frusan ye Victory Garlic Mixture open the door for 02012938280 and 0242545633 wo Kokins work herbal so wonsa betumi akabi alaji aka sema kumebi na mamembre Mr. Dugan 1 minute 112 inti
no asam ni
1 minute
Ntiano de baba Ghana for na masa adom asese o mafa adwumpa de mama ne NDC aban
amen
but you see yantie ni ebi recklessness must be punished in this country.
Okay.
Recklessness must be punished. And we are going to use Intim Fozo as example. Yen to me tinase for somebody who call himself a member of parliament and a reverend to be reckless to the extent that he has to deceive the public, lie on government, slam the authorities of our country, and be a free man walking. NCBU, when you allege in this country, you will prove. MPP for Muntro na muko demo amuye rehearsals say mubabedi no. Ebeka demo amumfampie. Because whatever you say in this country, we will force you to prove it. And you know why you need look, me no it will be better so no and no mbeba. Say me nye ka woni yemfa nhame sa banka wo yemfa nhana me nkoyi mano. Wodu no ni bika won bie na anu ka say semo ana me kan na me boa. Ma ye boni e wo nyame ho say me di nyame di atumi so adadaga na fo say me yesofo so me nyesofo me boa me ye MPP ni. And before the Ghanaian people ni nyame no ye nim say MPP ni bia de omuni ntro na enam because ada MPP ni ba kana kwa sa ada na obewu. Ada MPP ni ba kana kwa sa ada na obewu. Ebi no osofo no ya no. When we are, the clergy must call that guy. He has disgraced the clergy.
What's your osofo there?
Osofo mako.
Me da say alaji.
Well, you can if he say amana so. You be kan say obia ni wa say be wa sheda so person okochi obi. Obia no a wodi handcuff ato say ye kwa de kwa koto wonsa. It is only the law no makwan security agencies you invite oh what can be the way your president need 2 year kwa no it was so nice. Say oh mum friend no one assist him no one lead no mumwa intermediate me feel say enkebe ma na nimonya mum pombo so say what twetwe ne ho sa no mba na ye ka say nyina ye obi a ye friend as a jaba wo hwe ye free pray ko akrokare no afomina constituency jaba ashanti region wo so chao pa chairman Washington DC Madina Washington Zongo chairman wo say wo say enchewa ye jo so pa ne be kan MPP form nya botre.
Okay,
we are only 90 days we are only 3 months. Omunya 96 months. Yenya 48. Yenya only 3 months. Nyama ya bayano. I doso. Emi so when so abi wo because safa ahwe so we ase no. Abonu na no hye. But omunya botre emru ba bia wai. Bibia be yie. Omunya botre there is setting. It's going on. Until for if you can't talk, don't start.
Meda say Alaja Ahmadu Bukari Sorogoye, former member of parliament in Madina, Sasona, Mr. Chris Dugan, also a director, a corporate communications at the National Lottery Authority. A kukuda mini mudi juma. Me did who did who chami from Nicholas ya Osioson, the producer, Mr. Kelvin Asante, Mr. Rav Jampo, Willie and Francis Ansana, birthday man, my man, happy birthday in advance. Mr. Emmanuel Kisi, Yami Adwache, baby birthday in Papa Pofia, this may be Friday. And Tiamenka who no show, Mom, the news, Papa in a can. Na ye day, bro, or TVXYZ to me, Power 97.9 FM. To stay tuned, the T News, Papa, more day. Bye bye.